Alright. I apologize for how the stream ended last night. Apparently there was no foul play. I do deny that, but you know, according to my sources, there was no foul play, but I didn't get to end how I wanted to. I was really gonna keep playing. I know I said I was wrapping it up. Pause, you know what I'm saying? No magnum. But yeah, it ended abruptly. Let's hope this doesn't happen the same way, because I do want to tell a story just for some content, maybe multiple, just for some more content, so while I'm gone I can still produce. Yeah, yeah, man. But yeah, welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Another episode of Black, but we gonna talk about a multitude of things. Hopefully I'll be able to get it off, because I'm in a I'm in a hardcore world, and you know what I'm saying? This is not easy to do both, but it should be easier than fighting crime, I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to do the same thing yesterday, swinging through New York, and that was kind of that was something. But yeah, there's a lot on my mind right now, not in a negative sense, but just about what I want to start the stream with. I want to make it very, like, you know what I'm saying, content dense for me later. I'm just thinking in terms of the future right now. Like I'm here, but I'm also thinking of how I'm gonna use this later. But anyway, I guess I could start with how last night's stream was going, and I'm gonna need to also check this too. I'm gonna see how this goes. First 15 minutes with this thing on. I'm gonna turn the air off right now. It's just keeping it cold in here, and it's still nighttime. Oh my goodness, this all right. We're already in here. We back. Oh, that's okay. That's me. Shit, I'm thinking somebody's trying to stalk me or some shit. Damn. I think I go back this way to get back to the village. We'll see. I'm dead ass lost. I had the coordinates from Blugo. He was in here, but I did not save those, so I should get those back. Let me get to high ground first though, so I know where I'm going, because I don't want to run from that village. I got like a half-built nether portal, but anyways, I kind of want to hone in. This on my mind right now. Like I was just saying, the topics of last night in the stream, right? I didn't even bring this up. If you're watching this and you know me, just from how my streams normally go, a good amount of time within the stream, I'll start talking about some deeper topics sometimes, right? A lot of the time I choose to go there just because that's what's on my mind a lot of the time, right? As a person, I like to talk about deeper topics, you know, thought-provoking topics, and I like to back it up with research, whatnot, you know what I'm saying, all that cool stuff. And I think I go this way. I think I had some people understandably upset by my perspectives, which is why I kind of like weighing off of that. I'm watching one of my older streams actually right now, where I'm feeling like I'm kind of broadcasting that attitude. So, you know what I'm saying? I've just been kind of more careful of what I bring out to the internet, just because I understand not everybody understands what I know, you know what I'm saying? And I want to respect everybody else's perspective without forcing it, or I don't want it to feel like it's being forced, you know? So, oh my god. Bro, that was about to be bad. But yeah, so to get into it, right? Just getting into it. It was yesterday's stream. I was just swinging through New York, you know what I'm saying? Like Spider-Man does, just doing my thing. And, there was some dude, I think it was a new chatter, a new subscriber, matter of fact. I don't know if he's still subscribed now, but he is the one. Let me remind you, he's the one who brought this topic up about God, because he asked me and another chatter a question, and I answered honestly. He asked me if we believe in God or Jesus, one of the two, and I answered honestly. I'm not gonna repeat my answer here. You're gonna have to go to that stream. I think I called it what did I call that? Anti-hero. It's my anti-hero stream. Towards the end-ish, I guess, maybe last 30, maybe 45 minutes. We was getting into those topics, and so I was just being honest. I ain't pull no punches. I was just letting them know where I stood. And he went ahead and started using the good old headcanon, the good old, you should read the book, you should, you know what I'm saying? Because he felt like I didn't know what I was talking about, but I don't think he realized, hold up. I can't stop the music. Alright, good. Yeah, I had to stop it for this part. I don't think he realized how well versed I am in not just the Bible, but other pieces of literature that involve topics like these, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was letting them know that I don't really think the story of Jesus or any of the stories in the Bible are meant to be taken literally, you know what I'm saying? I don't think we're supposed to be like reading these stories and actually think they happened in history, because one, there were many other civilizations that came before the writing of the Bible, before the so-called Hebrews, before the Jews were ever established, any of that. You had Rome, who came after Greece, and Greece that came after Egypt. And if you were to cross-examine, there's very heavy similarity, very heavy inspiration drawn from these past figures, from pharaohs, which goes into deities such as Zeus, who happens to have the same characteristics, being a demigod at that, half god, half man, wielder of light, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, even the pharaohs, going even before who I just mentioned, these gods, where they pulled them from is the polyistic belief system of the Egyptians, where, you know, like the pharaoh, the one who was anointed pharaoh, was considered the representation of the sun god. Especially it's even in his name, bro. Pharaoh Tut Ankhenaten. I didn't really know how to say that before, but it's like 3 words mixed into one for one name. For Tut, I think that's like manifestation of the body, you know what I'm saying? Like a physical manifestation. Tut, Toot, kind of like, you know, us, Tut. I was gonna say soot, but that's like black, but it's kind of the same thing. I'm not gonna say it verbatim, but what else is in his name? Tut Ankh Unaten, and Ankh is the original cross. Whenever it was with the loopy on top and the arms going across, signifying male and female, the unification of male and female. And then Aten, which he changed his name to from, I think it was Aten to Amen. So Aten is the visible God, the God that's seen, that's manifested. Amen is the opposite, the hidden. And all religions happen to end with that phrase in their own language, which is ironic, but you know what I'm saying? This is the type of study that I do. And like I said, he proposed the question to me. I didn't do that. He brought the question to me. I answered honestly. He didn't like it, and I've already been through that. I've already been through people trying to tell me from their perspective, which I can tell it's limited just based off of the evidence or the lack of that I receive from their statements, or in response to my statements. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm really making sense here, but when I'm trying to really get across, thank you God, I thought I was going the wrong way. I'm going the right one. I just didn't know how far I went, but I wanted to get this so I could just like take a pic real quick. More love though. I didn't, hold up, Flint and Steel Moon, baby, that's a, you know what I'm saying, waning crescent, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, I didn't appreciate how he brought that up, and he left mid-convo, because I understand if I brought it up and I made him uncomfortable to where he didn't want to sit in that conversation anymore. But the fact that he was the one who started that conversation topic, and then he just ended up kind of aborting because he either didn't like my answers, or he couldn't respond to them appropriately the way he thought he was going to, or the way he thought he could. Because I simply told them I believe the Bible is a form of mythology, just like the rest of those stories that it was pulled from. You know, I don't think there was a person called Zeus, half man, half God, who could literally hold lightning in his hand and throw it. Maybe so. Maybe so. I never met a dude named Zeus. I've never seen anyone do that nowadays. I've never seen anyone walk on water, split the Red Sea. I've never seen anyone turn a stick into a serpent, crack a rock and have water pour out of it because God told them. I've never seen any of that happen. I'm not trying to say it doesn't or will never happen, but it's just like a lot of the stuff that you read in that book or any of these forms of literature, you have to really use your brain instead of taking it verbatim. Because that's like picking up a book out of the library in the whatever section. I was gonna say nonfiction, even fiction, even whatever little genre you want to say. It's like taking everything for face value. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to have a mind that thinks. You want to be able to think critically as well as feel because that's why you have an emotion, your heart, which is like your second brain, your gut. They say the gut feeling, which is your third, and then your actual brain that actually controls your body. So you could do your motor functions and stuff like that. It's like your body is one instrument making up of the whole. So using one part is kind of limiting yourself. And a lot of people don't even turn that on when they're reading books. They're just taking the books, reading the words. A lot of them don't take the time to do the etymology. They might do the definition, if that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the time, people just read books like the Bible or the Quran. I need that. Sorry, I need that meat, big dog. A lot of the time, people just read these books. It's like a ego boost. Like, I was thinking about this. I'm like, and I'm not saying he does this, but a lot of people just read these books just so they say they read these books. So they'll be like, oh yeah, I read the Bible, I'm a good person, you know? Or they feel like a good person because they read the Bible and they know a lot of other people don't. But it's like, are you reading this to understand? Because there was a point in my life where I had to realize this. Are you gaining knowledge to understand, or are you just gaining knowledge to say you're gaining knowledge? You know what I'm saying? Are you reading this book just to say you read this book so you're perceived as a good person, or you're perceived as an intelligent person? And that dude about to crumble. Oh God, boy. You good? Yeah, you good, bro? God damn, bro. God. Porous. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to homie Horace. You feel me? It's cloud. Oh, yep, it's cloudy. I'm gonna get you right though. Hold up, bro. I gotta do some stuff. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that was kind of my point of last night, of those conversations I was having with bro that made him leave. I'm like, dog, like, what you really talking? Like, if you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong, you need to prove it. Don't just say it, because I'm not opposed to being told that I'm wrong, but it's just how you go about proving this, or how you go about stating these. Are you doing it strictly out of opinion, or like how you feel about it, or can you prove it? And I was giving him scripture off of memory. I couldn't quote it verbatim, like exact chapter and verse, but I do the thing, because verses sound familiar to me. I know if it does, because, you know, I read, and I've just heard them enough to see whenever they're familiar, or to see whenever it resonates, if it's really in the book. And if I don't see it, or I'm hold up, not if I don't see it, but like if I'm not getting them, I'm a look it up. That's the type of person I am. If I'm not getting the proof, I look for it. I just don't take it, or I don't take what anyone tells me as the proof. I need to be able to understand it myself. And I think that's where a lot of my ideas were getting misconstrued in my previous streams as well, because I remember saying that phrase, but I didn't clarify. I need to be able to understand. How you doing? My fault. I need to be able to understand. I don't just want you to tell me what it is. I need to be able to understand where you got it, how I can comprehend it, and how I can grow on that perspective, or I can just grow on my perspective, not just grow that perspective, because I don't know the depth in which people research, if you understand what I mean. I don't know if people just do definition, like I said, if they do etymological definitions of that, looking at the root of the word, going past the English language, bro, going past the English language, because he even I'm not gonna say had the nerve, because it's true that the book, the Bible, has a lot of other pieces of literature from that book alone that were taken out for reasons unknown. People have many different reasons. I say it was a form of control. The reason there's no book of Thomas, I think, I think it's Timothy or Thomas, one of those two. It was one of those T's. The book of Enoch, book of Mary. There's so many books that were taken out of the Bible, and people say because of time, because of translation, because it wasn't important. Then why write it in the first place? Why take it out or why put it in if you're just gonna take it out? I feel like it was a method of control. The same people that gave us the Bible were the same people that crucified the savior of the Bible. It was the Romans, right? The Romans killed him, and then they came out with the religion. So how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel whenever you really break it down that way? It's like you really need to be careful who you listen to for sources like that, for information like that, and how far in that knowledge that you go. Because a lot of people can't handle what I just said. A lot of people, they think it's blasphemous to even say that, because it's like they think everything is perfect already. You know what I'm saying? They think how the word comes is perfect, how the world should be is perfect, but they also, you know, acknowledge the flaws if it benefits them. But when it comes to challenging their beliefs, if you also mention, shut your ass up, bro. You just, man. if you also mention these flaws and it happens to challenge their perspective, then that's whenever it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? People are quick to point out flaws in your argument when it benefits them, but when it you know what I'm saying, it turns around, it's like, damn, they leave. He left and he brought it up. I just had this, damn, I really could have died. I really could have died. This is a frozen ravine, but I see that lava though. Hold on. I see that lava though. I don't know if I want to make that jump though. Wait, it's a flat. I could do that. I'm so nice. It's kind of scary every time I do that, but I'm so nice with it. Adventure time. Sorry if I see a black screen on my screen, but that's just what it is whenever I get an achievement. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting because I was like, that's not even fair, really, that you brought up the subject and then you left mid convo, because I'm proving it with scripture and he didn't bring up one scripture. I asked for it. I'm like, if the fruit that you're talking about, if the fruit in the Garden of Eden was a legit fruit, or if it was a tree, a literal tree, what kind of tree was it? And why don't those trees grow anymore? Why doesn't any trees full of knowledge grow anymore? What happened to them? When did they go extinct? When did they go extinct? I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of questions you have for that. If you take these stories seriously, biting of the fruit, gaining knowledge of the gods, and then that becoming blasphemy, and at the same time, like I told them last night, if gaining knowledge and being like God was the problem in Genesis, why does Jesus later tell you in the book that ye are gods and ye shall die like men, but ye are all children of the Most High? Like, what does that mean? If ye are gods, but God didn't want us to become like God, that doesn't make any sense. How are we? One of them are wrong. Jesus or God is wrong. If Jesus is telling me that I'm like, that I am God, ye are gods, and the Most High or Yahweh, whatever you want to call him in Genesis, got mad because we became like gods, either God is the bad guy or Jesus is a liar. One of those two. And there's no in between. And I've yet to have anybody explain that contradiction to me, to be honest, because I don't understand how God was angry with Adam and Eve for becoming like God, but then that's exactly what Jesus calls us. But I'm not going to harp on that too much longer. I'm just saying, you need to think. People need to think about what they're reading, because if you just read it verbatim, people will argue how that makes sense without using scripture, because that's the key to it. If you really want to understand scripture, you need to break down scripture with scripture. It needs to be proven in the book solely. Now, I know it won't be able to do for all things, obviously. Like, there are some things you have to critically analyze and break down, but if you're going to have an argument like that for why something is not something, like why a perspective on a verse is wrong, then that's whenever you utilize other verses to how should I say, solidify a point. Bro, you looking at me way too hard, Enderman. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Relax. But yeah, bro, you need to be able to prove other scripture with scripture if someone's word isn't enough. You know what I'm saying? If I say for example, I guess I could probably do this. Like, I do this with logic, though. There's no verse that would tell you that the Bible is mythology. But my perspective of the Bible is that it's all mythology. It's a form of storytelling to give you an idea of metaphysical properties or metaphysical activities, metaphysical processes, there we go, that occur within the body, within the mind, within the soul. So, for example, I guess I could prove that with just critical analyzing, right? There was a time where I was thinking about this. I should have got the exact verse, the exact chapter for this, where Jesus was tempted. Jesus was tempted by the devil, and it's almost like he was being teleported around the world whenever he was showing him kingdoms he could have, you know what I'm saying, riches he could have, all kinds of food. I think it was like women or something like that. He's like, you could have all these things if you obey me or something like that, right? And it's like, what was the devil doing, and how fast were they going? What were they using? A helicopter, a teleporter? Like legit? Did the devil have some hoodoo voodoo shit where he was moving Jesus around the world like that, like at a blink of an eye, showing him all these things? Or was it in his mind? Was this happening in his mind? Was temptation going on in his mind? And then you think about your life as well. You can easily get tempted in your mind. Temptation occurs within the mind. where you're thinking about doing something, you're thinking about going this way or going that way. All of that happens within the mind. But somebody will argue, oh yeah, whenever he was being tempted, I'm about to get frostbite. But somebody could argue just off, how should I say, headcanon. That's what I was calling it last night. Just off headcanon. They was like, oh yeah, they were being teleported around the earth because the devil has I was about to say masculine powers. He has immaculate powers, and he can move the Messiah anywhere he pleases. I'm like, damn. So who's stronger then? It would lead you to ask the question, this logically, who's stronger between them? Why didn't he come here to kill him then when he was right there teleporting them? If they're enemies, you know what I'm saying? It makes you ask questions like that. And of course, like I said, you probably won't be able to prove everything through scripture. I'm not going to sit here and act like I've read the entire book front to back, but I've read enough to not be swayed by simple opinion, because that's where, hold up, I don't like talking while I'm eating. Can I help you? Alright. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, I don't get swayed by opinion alone, bro, because I understand with scripture, it's deep. It's multi-layered for a reason, because that's just how language is, and then that's how it was written. It was written to be interpreted in many different ways, for the better or worse, however you want to consider that. You know what I'm saying? You could say it's for the good of other people. You could say it's for their detriment to have it more confusing. Either way, don't care. The point of this whole thing, I guess, this whole little spiel, this whole yap, is don't take anything for face value. Don't take anything for just the way you see it, or just how you might initially interpret it, because knowledge provides depth. I should say introspection even provides depth of things you might not understand outright, or even just, you know, at first, I should say. You need to be able to consider multiple perspectives. Oh, is he aiming at me? Oh, yeah, all right, hold up. Can I find the, never mind. I was about to find the golem, but he needs some iron. Let me smelt that real quick. I did say I was gonna get him right, because once he's dead, I'm not protecting these niggas. I ain't protecting these niggas. Let me get that smelter real quick for homeboy though, and let me get these coordinates, and then I can just go off, because yeah, I don't want to go too far just because of that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that only because I don't think my perspective is incorrect for me viewing these as metaphysical processes to follow, instead of reading this book as a history lesson and being like, damn, that boy Moses is putting in work. You know what I mean? I wonder where that staff is. How do they make accounts of all this, and how do we know this to be true? If this is all really a story that happened, why did it stop? Why did it stop? You know what I'm saying? Where are the prophets of today? How long are you gonna wait for Jesus to come back? If that's even how that's gonna happen. People make up the rapture as well. That's yet to be really proven biblically. People just put that as an interpretation of scripture. As I said, the way people interpret scripture is different, and it's dangerous, because depending on who you listen to, that'll make or break your perspective, dog. That will literally make or break your perspective, because a lot of people, they give a lot of people, random people at that, too much faith. They put too much faith in just the words of others. You don't know the intention, you don't know the depth of which they go, and that's why I'm saying, don't even just trust my word. Do your own research, do your own introspection, and yeah, bro, knowledge will come. But like Nonu said last night, knowledge is heavy, because once you get knowledge, your perspective expands, and then your responsibility also has to increase with that knowledge, because you're no longer ignorant to stuff that you're aware of. So you're going to be held accountable for what you know. And he didn't say all that, but you know, this it's true. With knowledge, it could be grievous for some, because they're like, dang, like, you know, some stuff you feel like you're better off not knowing, because it's just kind of like, not all knowledge will make you feel good, but that awareness is what's important with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, hold up, I can't make bread with my hands, can I? I'm gonna just not even bring. I'm gonna put this here. How much space does these take up? I'm not. Fuck it. I was really gonna act like this is real life. I wasn't gonna put my apples with the raw meat, but I don't care. I'll put my gems in here, or my ores in the other bag. so I have some space. I don't really care about the leather though. I don't know if I care about that either. I'm gonna keep this here. Oh, there we go. And what? Oh, yeah, wheat first. I'm like, bro, I got it. Not yet. Not yet. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Like, I guess what's it? You good, bro? Now you are. Okay. I was thinking of other perspectives as well that I could, hold up, let me also get another bucket. This would also help us go by a little bit faster, I'm not gonna lie. I already got a full thing of iron armor. I got these, I'll just make one more, and I'm just gonna be on my way. I could make a shield, how much is that? 1, okay. Oh, come on now. Okay, I was about to say, don't disappear now. Alright. Oh, I'm holding the shield too, but it's taking up a slot. It doesn't have to. Bam. I'm not sure if they would be the same. It's in my boy, Chicken Little. If you don't get out of my face. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, I can't really go like too deep in the Bible shit. I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to think of another way I could like try and prove scripturally, I guess, like through scripture, that you shouldn't be taking these stories like literally, bro. Like. Literally, you shouldn't be looking at these stories, reading it, and be like, damn, that literally happened at this time or whatever, dog. Because, I mean, not even just outright through scripture, but just by evidence, I guess. I could say like, you have to see like there are many crucified saviors across the planet who have similar stories to Jesus Christ. And not only that, it's the manner in which it's told as well. They all have a similar theme, but forget the similar themes. I'm trying to think really of what I've read that it's because there's some things that are just so outlandish. I'm surprised people believe that these are actual, like, you know, events that happen. You know what I mean? Like, I guess whenever I mean, other things I can really think about that I just already stated is like Moses going across the Red Sea, parting that, and then walking on the bottom of the ocean. Because even how Bilu and Zeus were trying to understand it, how oh, boy, I was about to be so mad. I saw that and I thought I was done. But it's like how they'd be able to walk down uniformly and then walk back up without any struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like there's a staircase that leads to the bottom of the ocean and then back up. They had to really find a way to do that, a way from getting chased by Egyptian soldiers. Ooh, boy. But like, what, making water out of wine? Not doubting that, because then it sounds like I'm doubting the power of the prophet. But it's like, you know what I mean? Well, what is it really trying to tell us though? Whenever it says things like that, you know, how I would perceive that. Damn, now that's going off perception. That's kind of hypocritical, right? I should leave that topic alone, but at least to close out on that in a way that I'm satisfied, you should take into account of all these things that you read, especially in the book, whatever type of literature you believe in or that you subscribe to. You need to etymologically understand the words that you're reading to get a full grasp understanding of these perspectives, of this knowledge. And then you also need to consider all perspectives, not just what you're reading, but from all points, all Abrahamic religions at one. You know what I'm saying? One, you should do that, because even though I'm glad I already went there. Even though Jewish people, I'm gonna say it, I don't care, it's a J word. Although Jewish people don't believe in Jesus as the Messiah, they have the Kabbalah, right? It's the Kabbalah. It's like a tree of life almost. It's like many circles that you have to kind of like fulfill, uphold. There's one that says like glory. It says what is it? Like, damn, I don't want to like put. It's like circles of the Sephiroth, bro. Like, you have to kind of fulfill this tree of life in order to really become, how they say, purified, born again, renewed. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking for it right now because I have it screenshotted, but it's like it's a lot. Yeah, I don't even know. I just heard my microphone kind of sizzle. I don't know what that meant, but hold up. I'm trying to see it too. I saved this stuff, but while I'm looking for it, there's like who was Krishna, who was Hindu Sakya, Thamu, Witoba, Yao, Jesus, Quetzalcoatl, you know what I'm saying? Quirinus, Prometheus, Thilius, Indra, Alcestos, Ares, Crite, Bali. Look up those names. See what you come up with. Why do they all have a similar story to Jesus, and some of them came before him? But it doesn't matter, because if it's not Christianity to some people, then they don't matter. So it's like there's no arguing points like that, to be honest, with some people. But that's just something to think about. I'm trying to, y'all, I hope y'all get what I mean though. I don't know why I can't find it now, because I do save stuff like this just for my sake, because I like to accumulate knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But this isn't whenever I want to find it. That's whenever I can never really do that. So, but yeah. There's like in the Kabbalah for the where the Jewish people they operate in this realm under the Abrahamic religions. You have to fulfill these I guess these like like I don't even want to call them pledges, but it's almost like rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? That's how you become purified once you're in the flesh, because you fulfill these habits, these perspectives, these morals, I guess. I don't even want to call them morals, but this is like that's really what it kind of like I could summarize it best to, you know what I'm saying? Where you fulfill a certain amount of characteristics while you're in the physical flesh in order to ascend above. There we go, I found it. I don't know why it's not hearted. I just did, but there's one for victory, foundation, glory, mercy, severity, beauty, and in the center where the head is Doth, which is knowledge. So knowledge is Doth. Doth is knowledge. What people call death, what people call knowledge simultaneously, it's dying to your old self to be reborn again, because you're born into ignorance and you're renewed through knowledge. But a lot of people, whenever I say that, they're like, no, that's not what it means. Whenever he died on the cross, he died for our sins. Oh, I'm glad that happened too. I'm glad I just said that as well. And let me close it out with this, because I even said this on a couple panels before I started streaming on my own like this. I said on a couple panels back then too. Do the etymology of the word for, F-O-R, not F-O-U-R, but the word for. It's the connecting word. So whenever you put into perspective, Jesus Christ died for our sins, the etymology of F-O-R, for, is because of or due to. So that would change how you read that sentence. Jesus Christ died due to. Jesus Christ died because of our sins, not to die for our sins like a willing sacrifice, because he cried the day of that he was supposed to die, pleaded out to Father God, if this could be if this cup could be taken, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I'm paraphrasing now. That was kind of bad. I could get my phone out again, but I don't want to do that. But I'm paraphrasing here. He pretty much begged God for him not to die, and he got no answer, and then he was sacrificed, allegedly, but he was murdered. Really, he was murdered in front of everyone, and he died because of our sins, because the people who he was also here for ordered his death. The people who he came back here for, they ordered his death. They were sitting there watching him get crucified. And you could also relate that to the same way it's done today. People who are normally here to help or try to help or do something, have a revolution, whatever, a lot of the times they're criticized, and a lot of the times they're put into the grave, assisted by the people they're trying to save. You know what I'm saying? But me saying that, there's like, no, actually he was a sacrifice. Even though everyone hated him, he loved everyone, and he came here to die for them, and he knew that. It's like, okay, all right, that's just interpretation. Because I gave the scripture before on stream where he was crying, and people still, they didn't want to believe that, which is fine. And like I said, this is just how I interpret the scripture. I'm tired of trying to convince. I'm just relaying the message. If people inquire, I'll deliver an answer. But I don't really care how it's delivered or portrayed or taken as that. I'll say it as concise, as respectfully as I can, but if you don't agree, you don't agree. That's not my fault. You know what I mean? And it's gonna take proof. It's gonna take logical explanation, a combination of those actually, a logical explanation, and then I need the proof where you got it, and then I'm gonna need to interpret it myself, not just you telling me, but reading that and my level of interpretation, my level of how should I say, critical thinkingness. I need to be able to do that myself to be able to come to the same or similar conclusion, possibly different, because that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, yeah, bro. I just didn't appreciate that. What was his name? Unknown. Was it Universe Mod or something like that? And then he switched to his other account called Twist. I ain't appreciate that. That was weird how you came to me with that question and you left. I don't know if you got mad, but he left mid convo. Another person did the same thing. It wasn't verbally like this. I had time to, I ain't gonna lie, dip in my archives a little bit, get a reminder, because I do research for fun. But yeah, bro, that was just kind of weird to me. But on to what I actually wanted to talk about. So now I'm gonna get into a story or an experience I had whenever I was out of town. This is also before I started streaming, I think, right? I think, because this is whenever I went to Tennessee. I live on the East Coast, and I went to Tennessee because, you know what I'm saying, I was trying to do something with my life, trying to change it up, trying to do something for the better for my family. And I did something I really wasn't used to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say like it was necessarily good or bad, but it was an interesting experience nonetheless, because it taught me, one, the value of skill, oh, hold up, where's this at? It taught me a lot. I could say that. There we go. It taught me a lot of things about life that, you know what I'm saying, I don't really think I got before. You know, it's really only because, one, I never really been in an environment like that, either in a long time or ever, and two, it was a lot of people kind of put into the same situation as me. I realized, you know, it wasn't really like it was a choice, but it was just a matter of circumstance why we all ended up in a similar place like that. But it was ultimately for my betterment. It was supposed to help me get a trade, and I did this. Oh, I thought I could do that. All right, but I did this, yeah, strictly for my family, just to try to better my life, turn it around type shit. So I was trying to get a trade. I ended up going to this place called Job Court. Don't sue me, because I'm only giving an honest opinion. I'm only giving my honest experience. They temporarily shut it down after I left, which is, I'm not gonna say ironic or funny. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they did it, but I did have a feeling that it would just be, at least that particular campus that I left would just kind of get a lot worse, just because the people there were kind of weird. I hate putting it off on other people, because, you know, other people try to bring me back down to earth by saying it's maybe not everyone else, sometimes it's you. Never argue that, never argue points like that, because I'm always, at least I try to be self-aware, dude. I try to be self-aware, I should say that, but I am self-aware, because that's what I say. That's how I maintain that awareness, by saying that I am. But I can't help but to deny, I can't help but recognize, there we go, I'm not going to deny when other people are acting odd, you know what I'm saying? And it really started before I even left home. I was getting some weird vibes that I probably shouldn't even do this, but, you know, like I said, I wanted to do it for my family. I was ignoring all that just because I didn't really have a choice to ignore that. You know, I didn't really have the option, really. That's really what it felt like. Even though I didn't really feel good about it, I didn't have a choice. Because this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, there's like a pre-screen interview or something like that. It was like a group call with some of the administration that's there at the campus already, and then they were talking to some people who were getting ready to go there to a place like that, right? So it was me, some other people who were going, and there was, like I said, the administration. So I was like, all right, bet, we're gonna do it. Cool. We get to talk to them, get a feel, get a vibe before we go. Awesome. All right, they're trying to make us feel a little comfortable, so I appreciated that. But it was weird, right? Because Jesus, that annoys me. My voice does that, but it was weird whenever got on the call, right? I think it was a black lady. The quality of the connection was really bad, but I think it was a black lady who was hosting the call, letting us know who she was, letting us get a feel, ask some questions, letting us know what we can't do, all that stuff, all that good stuff. And this thing is tilted over. Never seen that. I thought this was a spaceship. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, letting us get a feel. Oh, I get it though. It washed up. It tilted over. I get it. But yeah. Oh, ain't no chest? Alright, I'm out. Ahoy. And then you got a black screen on my screen for nothing. I ain't even go in there. But yeah. This was how should I say, like, cool. It was cool. It was supposed to be simple. And this music is loud. Oh my gosh, but it was supposed to be a simple call, just letting us know, you know, like I said, what to expect. You know, we get to get an allowance while we're there, so we're not just sitting there broke or hungry. There's gyms, there was a studio telling us everything, you know what I'm saying? Just making us kind of more, I guess, excited, not as stressed as going to a whole new environment, because we were going to be living on the campus. It was like a boarding school almost, right? So they were letting us know if we had any questions, go ahead and ask them there. You know, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it was kind of just like, you know, one of those, but it was like, I didn't really have much to say. I didn't have much to say at all because I was just listening. Everybody else asking their questions. Some dude asked, could he bring his own blanket? You know what I'm saying? It was just the way he asked it. It was like, damn, everything they talk about, you worried about if you could bring your blankie, but they're straight. You know what I mean? They were doing their thing. I was just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Listening, observing, and then I did end up having a question, right? Because she said something. Forgot what she said exactly, but I just remember this, that whenever I was trying to get this lady's attention, like everyone else could, right? Everyone else. I think that she was even asking us too whenever we joined the call if she could hear us, and she just couldn't hear me for some reason, right? But the other people could, so it didn't make sense how the other people, the students particularly, what I'm talking about, they could hear me, but she couldn't, because there was a couple times I'm trying to get her attention. I'm like, hey, I have a question about this, and she's like, any questions, anybody? Any questions? Yeah, yes, ma'am. I have. Yep. Any questions? Is cutting me off, but she could hear everybody else. Everyone else could hear me, and even someone spoke up. They're like, yeah, I think he has, and she cut him off too, just for my question not to get answered. It was weird. I'm like, all right, bet. So they can hear me, but she can't for some reason. But it's all good though. It's all good in the hood. I charted that off as maybe technical difficulties, but it got worse. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I got to the campus, my experiences, I'm not gonna say it got worse dramatically, but it did get worse. What's good, Blue Go? You know what I'm saying? What's good, Blue Go? I just mentioned you in the story earlier. I'm not gonna lie. It was good, man. What was I saying? Yeah, bro. So my experiences here, I'm not gonna say they got significantly worse, but they gradually made me more inclined to be uncomfortable in this environment. Let me tell you why. So, boom. I get there first day. I remember that getting acquainted with everybody, right? There were some people I didn't know, obviously, everyone I didn't know there, but I could tell that these were kids who were kind of just like doing this as a last resort, almost like me. It seemed like they didn't really have any motivation to be there, any care to be there, like they didn't really want to, and so they were just kind of like acting like they were in school, you know what I'm saying? Like they were just kind of like they're just having fun. I'm quiet. I'm to myself because I clearly didn't want to be there, but everyone else is kind of just making the best of it, which is cool. It's fine because I don't fault that. I don't even try to, you know what I'm saying? I don't try to ridicule that. What was the story? I think I was telling I briefly mentioned you whenever I was talking about my stream last night. I had brought you up about how me and you were talking in one of these type streams. And then the other dude found me in my Spider-Man stream, something like that. It was a quick mention, but I did say your name though, so it's crazy you popped up. But yeah, it wasn't anything crazy though. But yeah, man. What was I saying though? So yeah, so look, Pete, we getting acquainted with everybody though. Getting to feel the vibe. I'm like, all right, so these are clearly a group of younger kids, a younger generation is here that is they're having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. So I can't even hate on that. I'm just glad they're not bringing any negative energy yet that I have to deal with. But yeah, like I said, my experiences there were just kind of like, I'm gonna get to the point of it right now. So let me see if I could turn this music down too. I feel like I'm yelling over it, but boom. I'm gonna say probably the first couple of weeks. I noticed that these type of people here, like these are the type of people. I'm not even gonna say specifically black, because there are some black and white people who do this thing where they insult you, but they do it in the form of a joke, right? I no longer do that stuff. I used to do that with my homies and stuff like that. I used to like kind of like joke like, oh, you ugly as fuck, oh damn, like you skinny, oh you weak, you know what I'm saying? I used to do stuff like that. But I don't joke like that anymore, because it's hard to understand where that line crosses when someone is being serious and when they're not, because they can always say something very personal and then just throw on, I'm just joking, bruh. And it's like, no, you're not. I can tell, but it's good though. It's good, because you don't want to be that type of person, right? But these are the type of people that they were. These are the type of people that these people are. They do that type of stuff. And hold up, you said I just want to make sure you're not alone on stream. I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. Yeah, I just do this for the clips later, but I do appreciate that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, last night's stream was probably the most packed I had. There was so many people coming in and out, but I think I don't know, maybe the topic or something like that, people were like kind of leaving, because I feel like when I talk about stuff that's too deep, people leave. But I appreciate that though, bro. Shout out to Bluego. But yeah, man, and I can't turn the music down. But anyways, these type of people at Job Corp, the people I was around, you really got no choice. Like I said, these are the type of people who I feel like were here as a last resort. Maybe they decided to go here. I know some people who were there, they were talking about it. They went there to receive multiple trades, which I salute, because I just want to get out. I wanted to get the trade that was the easiest to get, so I could get out of there as fast as I could. And I ended up falling into like the firefighter, like where the firefighters were. I was gonna be like a hot shot, what they call it, where they like go to active fires and like put them out. And I think that's what one of my classmates did right out of high school. I think his name was George. Shout out to him. But I was like, damn, they make money while they're here, and I could also get my trade up for that as well. So I was like, whatever, I'll do that. And that's what I was doing while I was there. But it was really just the environment. It wasn't even doing the yeah, I was about to take it back, but no, I'm gonna keep going, because it was really just the environment that made it undesirable, that made it more difficult to really stay there for a prolonged amount of time. Because I even the way one of my instructors were talking to me, dog, is just like, man, it's like, who you talking to, bro? Like, bro, I'm not like that. I'm not one of them ones you could just talk to any kind of way and I'm just gonna sit there like, yes sir. No, you gotta talk to me with some respect, and I'll talk to you with respect, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm gonna just keep it linear first. I'm gonna keep it just so I don't jump topics, you know what I'm saying? But you said, yeah, I feel I need to change that. I also make fun of their friends as a joke. They stopped though, and instead of making fun of them, I started complimenting them. See, all right, bam. I'm glad you said that too. Before I go any further, that's a good active change of that energy, because it's really hard to tell. Like I said, whenever someone is doing that to me, and I don't want someone to feel that way when I'm doing that to them, because I used to do that so much. And I'm like, if I don't want to feel that way, I shouldn't make anyone else feel that way. So I just actively started changing. And I didn't really like the way my friends kept doing that, so I drifted away from them. That's a whole nother story. But shout out to you though, because that's a responsible way to go about that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, it was just like, these type of people did that though. Who I was around whenever I was doing Job Corp, these type of people joke like that. They're friends and all that. They love to like I said, clown each other. But then whenever it comes to like, you know, getting personal, they'll do that. But then they'll throw on, it was just a joke. And I remember, what did this dude say, bro? What did he say to me? I forgot what he said to me. I remember his name though, or his nickname. He called himself Uzi, but he did not look like Uzi. He looked like, you know what I'm saying, Lord Farquaad with the blonde hair, you know what I'm saying? But he was taller than me though. He looked like something else. I'm not gonna lie, I disrespected him right there. But it's just like, he said something to me. I was drinking water. I think he said, "Sam, shut your bitch ass up." And all I said is, while I was drinking the water because I couldn't respond. But it's like, why would you say that to me? Like, and what should I say in response to that? You know what I'm saying? That's the type of person I am now. It's like, you say something disrespectful, like, what, you want me to retaliate with that? And then if I do, now there's an issue. Now there's a brewing issue in the air because you're joking with me in a type of way that I don't even like. You know what I'm saying? And they do that to the point where it's like it borders getting personal, but it's supposed to be funny though. You know, you're not supposed to take it personal, but they'll say some personal shit to you. It's like, bro, why would you say that? But to get even more in depth, bro, some of these people were weird. Like, just besides the way that they were joking with me, but just the way they act. I forgot this one dude. He looked Mexican, I'm not gonna lie. I remember he had a mustache or whatever like that. He was probably my height, maybe a little bit shorter. We were doing this thing. We had to collect like soda tabs for this contest because you couldn't leave the campus. So once you were on the campus, you were pretty much stuck there until you had the permission. And if you maintain the permission to leave campus, they would be able to drive you, but you have to be taken by somebody, right? So we were doing this contest. They're like, yep, whichever room has the most bottle can tabs, you win. You could choose where you want to go, downtown Tennessee, whatever. And I wasn't even in a rush to do that because where we were in Tennessee, there was some racist people over there, so I was not in a rush to go among them. But that was what the contest was, to be able to go downtown, to do what you want, have a pizza party, whatever. It was like one of those contests. So it was like, all right, bet. You know, we was doing that. We was a part of it. We was you know, we was doing it. We was a part of it. And that one dude I just mentioned, the Mexican looking dude, right? During the contest, he was going like from room to room, just talking to people, quote unquote, just talking to people, right? Just doing innocent things, right? Innocent, supposedly. Yeah, just talking to people. But I could tell the way he was maneuvering through our room, because you stay in one big room with multiple different people. You said you think people need to stop rage baiting too. Also, yes, I agree with that. But I'm gonna continue too while I'm in this train of thought. That's true. Yeah, people need to stop rage baiting. It's messed up. And because they get offended whenever you go like all out or you snap. But that's just like, you never know what someone's limits are, you know, or what their boundaries are when it comes to joking around and stuff. But yeah, what was I gonna say though? Like, okay, so the way he was moving around our room though, it looked like he was looking for something, but at the speed he was moving and what he was looking at and where he was, you know what I'm saying? I could just tell. I'm just gonna chalk it up. Long story short, I could tell he wasn't just in there to talk to us, because it looked like he was looking for something, and he found where we had put our bottle tabs, right? And it's funny because after he had left our room, I'd even said that I feel like after he left our room, our entire bag of bottle cans disappeared. And like I said, I could not care less, because I was not in a rush to go out among people who don't like the way my skin looks. But it was the fact that he couldn't respect that I peeped that, and I didn't appreciate it, because it was the same dude, right, who did that, who whenever he saw me in like the little lounging area. So there's like a lounging area outside of all the rooms that we share with other people, and then you could go outside the lounging area, like outside, and you could walk around if that's not enough. But yeah, it was so, bro, there was so many people there, and I like to have my privacy, my alone time, my quiet. I sometimes I went in the lounging area, sometimes I would sit outside. But I remember he saw me eating snacks, because I was buying a lot of snacks. I kept going up to the other dorm, because that's where all the mail went. And I kept going to the other dorm, and I'd bring back like boxes of snacks sometimes. And I brought a few out to the lounging area. I was eating them. I was doing my thing. I was chilling. And after our bottle cap disappeared, after he was in our room, and I had asked a couple questions. I was asking around, like, damn, like, who would have went around and stole our shit? You know what I'm saying? And no one really told me outright, but the way someone gave me a hint, I had a feeling I knew who it was. So this same dude who I suspected of taking our stuff asked me for a piece of my snack, like for some Skittles or something. He asked me for some Skittles, and I was like, this is simply what I said. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like you're the one who stole our bottle caps, bro, and I don't respect that. I'm not gonna give you anything of mine if you feel that you could just do something like that, you know? I said something along those lines. I was not disrespectful at all. And matter of fact, I was as respectful as I could be. And as soon as I got, ooh, diamond. And as soon as I got done saying that, you know what he did? Do you know what he did, bro? He sits there and goes quiet and looks at me like this. He's just staring at me like this, like he's intimidating me. I'm like, bro, I'm not here to fight. I'm here to get a trade. I'm not here to fight over Skittles. Because the way he was looking at me, it looked like he wanted to do something to me. Like, it was a kind of stare that was, okay, I'm not gonna lie, like, it doesn't really matter how anybody's staring at me. I don't like people staring at me. Because that's how, literally, that's the body language of animals as well. Whenever you look an animal in their eye, they'll take that as like a threat, you know? They'll take that as you're trying to be aggressive. And just how I am as a person, if you're just staring at me with a dead face stare, that makes me feel like you want to fight me. And that's exactly how he was looking at me. He's just looking at me like he didn't like my answer. I'm just looking at, I'm looking out in the distance. I don't really care to stare at him back, you know what I'm saying? To do a stare off over some Skittles. I'm just looking at the TV, watching him play, but I could see him in my peripheral vision just staring me down because I declined his request to take my snacks. I'm like, dog, if you want to steal bottle caps, you ain't taking my snack. It's one or the other, fuck boy. Because that's how I felt at that time. And at that moment, I felt like he thought we were soft enough for him to do some bullcrap like that. You gotta go eat dinner, let me back, don't give up, bro. I appreciate it. Enjoy dinner, dog. Enjoy dinner. Let me know how it go. Let me turn off this light too. And it's thundering. Wow, as I said that. And I'm gonna turn off this air too. Just cause I don't want it on. I don't know how loud it is. But bro, I didn't appreciate that. The way that he was looking at me like I said or did something wrong after what he clearly did out of disrespect. He felt like he was entitled to my snacks. I'm like, dog, relax. Go sit down somewhere else. Just get out of my face. Cause I didn't like that. I don't appreciate that, and I don't think that's fair to. Ooh, boy, if I would have got launched into that lava, I would have been so mad. No cap. But anyway, I would have been so mad. Is that more diamond over there too? I'm gonna check it out. But yeah, bro. Like, and this is just one instance of multiple times that's happened. Like, there's some people I ain't even have interactions with that prior to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't have multiple interactions like that to even go into that. Oh my gosh, that thunder. I don't even think I deserved that little stare down he gave me over me declining. Even if he didn't do that with the bottle caps, I still have the right to say no. If I don't want to give you a Skittle, I'm not gonna give you a Skittle, bro. Simple as that, bro. Like, get off me. Like, leave me alone. But there was like a couple. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's all just kind of unraveling. Like, there was even one guy. Oh my gosh, the Lord of this world right here just don't want me to freaking talk. But it's like, there was even another dude, right? I forgot what he was complimenting me on, but it was like he was giving me props on something. I guess the way I was talking to someone else, he just appreciated the way I was like, you know what I'm saying? I guess being like cordial. He said he appreciated how cordial I was, or thorough, something like that, or how nice. I don't know. He said something. He was glazing, but I tried to shake his hand because I was like, I appreciate it. Like, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And he's sitting, because it makes it worse whenever you get left hanging in front of other people. But he complimented me, so I thought we were cool. I'm like, oh, bet, I appreciate it, dog. And I just reached out for a handshake, and he just looking at my hand. I'm like, what? Am I dirty? Like, what's up? Like, I was literally just like, yeah, I appreciate it, dog. Thank you. And I put my hand out to shake his hand. And he just looking at me, and I'm like, okay. It doesn't really make any sense for you to give me a compliment, and then just stare at me like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? So that was something as well. A lot of people just had that thing. Why does it seem like y'all see this? Why does it seem like I'm like kind of hallucinating right here? What the heck? Anyway, yeah, bro, it was so many instances like that where people are just kind of looking at me like with this dead stare. People are talking about the Gen Z stare, but what about the calcified pineal gland stare, bro? Just looking at somebody soulless, you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of that going on over there, and that's really why it was kind of stressing me out to even stay there because I don't know what kind of spirit was on these people, but it was something I didn't want to deal with because it's like everyone is just acting weird over here, and I'm it's a circumstance I didn't really have a choice to be in because of my own decisions in life, bro, which really made it feel worse for me because I'm like, wow, it's really my fault that I'm here, so maybe I deserve all the stuff that's happening to me right now, but it's just it still didn't feel good. It did not feel good to be going through this. Like, there was another dude, I think he was the one that saw me get left hanging whenever that one dude gave me a compliment and then just left me hanging. I don't even know this guy's name. That's how little I interacted with this dude, but he did the same thing. Like, there were some people I would just give like a head nod to, which I don't know their, you know, their current condition or their mood or whatever, so they're not obligated to like reciprocate, but I would be just a simple head nod in passing, just what's up, nothing, just a blank stare. Like I did something wrong, so I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. Now I know not to talk to him, because that's how I chalk that up. I'm like, if you're just gonna do that, not even have some cordial, what is it? What do they call it? Just like I don't even know. I was gonna call it cordial. I don't even know the word for it. If you can't even be cordial, that's the best way I could put it. Don't pop out. Just look at the ground or something like that. Don't even look at me, because I don't like people who just look. It's weird. It's annoying, and it kind of makes me mad, because it's like, you know, what are you looking at? You know, what's going on in your mind? What are you saying internally that you're not saying out loud? You know, I'd rather that be known than for me to guess, because that's really how you know who's an enemy, who's a friend, who should be near you, who shouldn't. And people who do that, it's weird, dog. It's weird. It's like talking to an entity. It's like almost like an AI in a flesh body. It's almost like they don't comprehend what being cordial is, because even though I don't like everybody necessarily, I don't really talk to everybody, I know how to be cordial. At least I know how to not I know how to make a situation not tense or not awkward, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, it seem like over there especially, because some of them are younger, some of them are just not from my part of the world. It's just like they don't have that comprehension to do that, which is, you know, it's kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie, because it's just like, where y'all come from, bro? Like, y'all even from Earth? Are y'all even real? That's how I feel about people like that, who just do things that are just unexplainable. And I think probably is the worst it got, though. Not even the worst, like, you know, instance, but it was really weird. I knew something spiritually was going on. I can't remember at what point. Like, I think this was like what, like a month and a half I was there, maybe like almost going on 2 full months. So I'm fully acquainted. I'm getting in my classes. I got in my trade, and there's also another instance I'm gonna throw in there. But I'm doing my classes, doing my trades. Now I gotta do like the basic academics as well as my trades specifically. And you know, I think I was in my class week. So I ended up, how did I get this? I had to like get some like volunteer hours or whatever, because I missed like these sign-ins. So you have to like, there's like these check-ins you have to do where they make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. So you have to go meet at a certain place. You have to sign in, you know what I'm saying? Not, you know, sign in by when they call your name, you have to be there to answer. If you're not there to answer, you miss too many of those, you're done. And you get like marks on your record, and you got to work it off by volunteer work around the campus, stuff like that. So I was on one of those weeks, and I had to get my hours up somehow. So I was just trying to get it out the way as fast as I could, because if long as you have volunteer hours to do or something like that, you can't even leave campus. And I was like, I'm not about to be stuck here. So I was trying to get off my record as fast as I could. So oh, bro, that was a stick drift. That was a stick drift. I was about to be so mad, bro. Oh my gosh. But anyway, and no, dang. No. Oh my gosh, that was my last thing of iron too. I need a pickaxe to get out of here. I just can't use it going down though. I gotta use something else, because I'm gonna get that lava and I'm out of here. But yeah, dog, it was me getting my hours off, right? So I'm in the gym. I think I mentioned this whenever I was saying in the introduction how we had to, you know, get acquainted over the phone. They were telling us they had a gym here at, yep, the studio. other stuff, just to make us feel more comfortable going there. And I was in the gym, because I was waiting for them to get done balling, doing whatever they do at the gym, just so I could do the cleanup, get my hours in, and get out. So I'm watching them play basketball because I'm like, I want to be here and I want to get started as soon as they're done, so I could just get as many hours as I can and then go, get it signed off and go. And yeah, I'm just watching the game. There's some people there who are in my room, I guess, from my dorm, I should say, and I'm watching them. I recognize them. I'm just seeing them. I don't say anything because I'm at, like I said, I'm a person. I just stay out the way. These aren't my friends. These are people I don't even know, so I don't really make the effort to be acquainted with them per se. There, I got a diamond pickaxe. We good. Thank you, Lord. I could have made a wooden one. Now that I think about it, I would have been good, but it just wouldn't have really been desirable. But yeah, bro. I'm just seeing people I recognize there. Some I don't. A lot I don't. But it's just like I'm just in the corner. You know what I'm saying, I'm kind of just on the bleachers, minding my business, just trying to stay out of the way until it's ready for me to clean. And there's one guy who just happens to be playing in middle of the game. So like I said, I don't know this dude, but he's obviously locked into his thing. I'm just watching. The ball comes like to my side of the bleachers, like it's about to go out of bounds, and he goes reach for it, tries to push it back in, keep the game going, type trap. You know what I'm saying? And he sees me. He sees me for a second on the bleachers, and this is one that I remembered because it's like the reaction. I didn't like it. Not just I didn't like it, but it's like who does that? You know, like this is what I mean. Like I don't know what these people are or where they come from, if they even have a soul. Because like I said, just to be cordial, He saw me. I'm sitting like this. I'm sitting like, hold up, let me put the shield away, because I'm dead sitting like this on the bleachers watching the game, and he sees me. So he's looking up at me like this, and I just give him a quick, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's up? And he scrunched, I'm gonna try to envision this. I'm gonna try to describe this in the best way I can. He scrunches his face like it's like, imagine someone taking a needle and poking you in the back of the neck. He scrunched his face like that at me. And I'm like, okay. Like, I deadass just looked away. Like, not like I was offended or anything, but I'm just like, all right, but this is the type of spirit that's over here. Like, it's just something in me is bothering them, and it's not like I always say that like it's everyone else's fault, but it's like whenever just patterns like that have just keep occurring in one spot, especially, it's just nothing else but to come to the conclusion that it's just a spiritual thing. So it's not anything that I'm doing physically to them or that I'm saying verbally to them, or even mentally, because I'm not even conversating. I'm bare minimum interactions. I'm there to get a trade, not to make friends. And the reactions that I'm getting just simply by being cordial is just like, all right, I don't even want to talk to anyone. Because at this point, like I said, I didn't have to do a head nod. I just I could have looked at my phone. I could have stared into the distance. Like, I could have did anything else. We just happened to lock eyes. So I'm like, hey, what's up? And he just scrunches his face at me. Like, it looked like, he saw like an enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looked like it's just an evil face, bro. It was an evil face that he made at me, and I did not like that, because I'm like, all right, and now I see what it is for real. You know, it was stuff like that, man. Like, I was really gonna stop there, but there was one instance that I'm trying to hold back, but this really kind of like set this into motion, I guess, of just me not liking that place as much as I thought I would, or just like not liking it, period, because I was in a really bad mood after this happened for that day, which I shouldn't let it control me now thinking about it, but it's just I couldn't help it, because it was just like this dude's supposed to be an administrator, so he's supposed to be like someone I could go to or feel comfortable going to if need be. And I feel like this administrator, that like what happened, I got back to the class like really late because I didn't know what time we had to be back. He didn't specify, because he acted like I was on my phone or something. I remember when we were in the class, someone else is clearly on their phone in class. It was some white kid, and mind you, these are all white people. I think there was no teacher there that was black, now that I think about it. Yeah, besides like the upper people in the offices who just come and check to see how things are going, there was no black trade teachers. So everyone is pretty much white. A lot of the students are white. And I remember me entering the CDL class, just being in there because it was full. But he said he'll let us shadow for the day, and it all really started whenever I'm sitting in class, right, minding my business, just, you know what I'm saying, looking at my folders because I don't really feel like making eye contact. It was a thing, a feeling. I didn't want to look that dude in the face. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm looking down and listening. Someone else is on their phone, but I'm looking down, listening, not zoning out, but I'm listening, and he looks right at me. He's like, "You aren't on your phone, are you?" No, no, I'm not on my phone. I've heard everything you said up to this point. But it's just like, out me out though, because I'm the darkest one in the room, it felt like. And then tells us to go to lunch. We're dismissed for lunch. So we do that, boom bop bing. And like I said, I ended up staying too late because I go back to the classroom and no one's there. So I'm like, all right, are they still at lunch? Or is like, did I come back too late? Which is ended up being the case. But I'm like, I just didn't know what was up. I'm like, all right, I guess, I'm just chilling here. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna wait till further instruction. And I don't know how much time passes by. Maybe I'll say a cool 15, 25 minutes pass by, and the instructor walks in. Was not expecting to see me. I could tell by his response. He was not happy to see me in there. So he kind of yells at me. He's like, "What are you still doing in here? When did you get back? Yada, this crap." You know what I'm saying? Acting like I purposely got there late. And I told him he never told us what time to get back. It was an honest mistake because that was the first time I was in one of those trade classes. And he was getting mad at me like I knew what time we had to be back, what time I was supposed to be there. Like, it's just, dog, relax. Relax. It was an honest mistake. Everyone else, they ended up going to this construction site to get some like, what is it, like hands-on first person experience on like these big, like, you know what I'm saying, ride-ins. How should I call them? Like, just I don't even know what to call them. Just like those big things, you know what I'm saying, bulldozers, whatnot, the CDL licensable cars, vehicles, you know what I'm saying. They was trying to use those, get a hands-on feel for them, see them actually used in person. I wasn't really, in a rush to go though. I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, being the only black person just anywhere just doesn't really make you feel like you belong. But yeah, I ended up getting back late on accident, and he got mad at me and decided to yell at me like he told us what time to be back, which he never did, because I listened to everything he said. And he just told us to go to lunch and be back. That's it. So I was like, all right, bet. Go beans. And so I was like, bam. You right. I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. And it's like, he wanted me to look him in the face. After that, he was talking to me, trying to make small talk with me. I was just looking deeply at this book that he gave me, just to analyze while I was waiting for everybody else to get back. And he was like, it's rude not to look somebody in the face when they're talking to you. I'm like, yeah, I know. I just don't want to look at you. That's kind of what I said. I just like, I don't really feel like I want to look at you right now. Like, I was just being as honest as I could, but now I ain't gonna say brutally honest. That was kind of like mellow, but it's like after that, because I said it the way I portrayed how he said, like how he was. I'm not gonna say exactly what he said because I can't even remember. And I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but the way that he was talking to me, I just didn't appreciate that at all. He was talking to me like I was an idiot. And I was just like, all right, bet. All right, I'm not coming back to this class simply because of how he's talking to me. Even though I want this trade, I would like to get my CDL. If I have to deal with this, if I have to deal with somebody like you, I'm not coming back here. This is like, I got too much respect for myself to put myself through that, But I know, like me, every time I tell my parents something like that, they're like, I don't have the right, or I don't, I shouldn't let something like that get in the way of that, which is true. Thinking about it realistically, it's true, because it's just that could prohibit, that could prohibit somebody from really moving forward, just because of how I feel about one incident could really that could be a stumbling block to why I really can't get to where I want to go, simply because of how I felt in one situation. So to really put it like that in a retrospect, yeah, I shouldn't have allowed him to make me feel some type of way to not pursue that trade. But it's a pride thing, bro. I'm not gonna let you talk to me like any type of way and then me just take it, bro, because I feel like a lot of people in his demographic, specifically people like white people from the country, they have like some kind of hate boner to do that. Like they feel like they could still talk to you like you're like an enslaved person. And I'm not one. I'm not one of those. Sorry, I'm not about to be either. But yeah, bro, it was really stuff like that. A lot of stuff like that was really going on. Not specifically like that where I felt like it was racial tension, but just weird energy. Weird energy, bro. It's like, why are y'all coming at me like this? Why are y'all doing this? What, bro? It was so much going on over there. Like I was kind of glad to leave, although I wasn't happy, just because I knew what I was coming back to. I was gonna kind of be like, sometimes I feel miserable here just because I know I could do more, and I'm constantly reminded how I could be better. It's not good enough right now. I gotta keep trying. All this stuff. I get reminded. I'm not doing as best as I can, which is true, but it's just like, you know, encouragement rather than like belittlement, I feel like would help a lot more with that focus, with that motivation. I know some people get motivated by like negativity, like, damn, you could do better, you're not good enough, yada yada, boom bow. This like, that's not, I feel like that's not how my generation, or that's not really someone like me wants to work. I don't want you to remind me of how incapable that I've been and how better I should be. I want to be reminded how better I can be, potential that I have, or you know what I'm saying, you're doing good, let's do better. Be reminded of, you know what I'm saying, just victories instead of losses, instead of L's, because you tend to focus on what your mind is drawn to, is what I'm trying to say. So it's just like, you know, this is how I knew what I was coming back to, bro. That's the best way I could say that. And I wasn't really, it was a weird feeling coming back home from that place, I'm not gonna lie, because it was really funny the last day I was there. It was another dude, I can't remember his name, but he was pretty cool though. He was pretty cool. He helped me feel comfortable there. It was one of the people who had been there for a while already, so any new people like me, he was just there if we had any questions. He was the dorm leader of that room. He ended up passing it to someone else, so it was a couple people who I ended up getting pretty cool with. Wouldn't call them friends, but they were cool though, man. And I ended up telling people like him on my last day. I didn't know it was my last day there, but whenever it was, he could tell. I made it clearly vocal to him. I felt like that place was a daycare. That was my exact words, because it's just like, the only reason I had volunteer work under my belt is because I wasn't awake to be there for meeting time, you know what I'm saying, roll call time, like, where it's just like, bro, I'm 20, I'm 20 years old, and I have to make sure I'm there when they call my name, like, here's Samuel Wilson, like, bro, come, bro. And I'm on fire. I don't know how he shot me around the corner, but he's like, bro, I feel like I'm way too old for that, but that was the requirement there, you know what I mean? So I kind of had to just suck it up. But yeah, ended up going home. I got sent home. Because it was funny, I was trying to get my hours approved, and I guess I just saved the time of him trying to find me. It would have been probably more embarrassing if people were in the room at the time. But yeah, I went into the room. There was a dude, like, he looked like an officer on campus type crap. I was just giving him my hours, letting him know I did it. I got these off my thing, so let's see where I can go from here. And he's like, actually, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, okay, bet, what's up? And he didn't look happy. He wasn't smiling, so I knew it was bad news, but I didn't want to believe it until he said it. And I'm not gonna lie, my head dropped. My head was dropped between my legs, pause. Like, that's how low my head was, because I'm like, bro, I know my parents are not going to be happy to hear I'm coming back. And I was ashamed, because I was like, I did this for them, and I couldn't even go through with it. I couldn't even make it through, just because of my own vices, you know? The same vices that I feel like are holding me back here, are the same vices that prevented me from moving forward over there, you know? And it was really unfortunate, because that was a really good opportunity, and the way I walked into it, I felt like they thought I like kind of self-sabotaged myself or something like that, or I was just like missing home that bad, which maybe I was, I guess, but like all the stories I just told describing that place and everything, it would make it seem like I really wanted to go home that bad, but it was just the energy there. It just felt like I didn't belong there, and it felt like I wasn't supposed to be there, and it was just like, that a fucking, what was I just getting shot by? Whatever. This nigga does not have a trident. I'm trying to look. Does he have a bow? Hold up, bro. I don't know what he has in his hand. This dude's so damn small. This is fuck. What, boy? Why isn't he dying? Okay, fuck. I'm like, bro. I'm getting shot by somebody else now, so he was just a decoy, motherfucker. But yeah, where's my shield? Oh my gosh, where's my shield at? Bro. Focus. This is hardcore. If I die, I die. I ain't even get to the nether yet. Fuck. Yeah. It was just like, dog. I felt like I didn't belong. The energy I was getting, trying to be cordial, it wasn't being reciprocated. I don't feel like I was doing anything wrong. I know I'm not probably the best person to be around or to even talk to sometimes, but it's just like, if I'm trying to be cordial, the least you could do is just tell me to fuck off at least, or just be cordial as well, so it's not fucking awkward. But people didn't even have the decency to do either sometimes, so it's just like, alright, whatever, you know, it was just like, whatever, I guess it's them, not me. But sometimes, like, even a person like me, I'm always introspection, I'm always introspective, so I'm like, damn, what could I do better to garner or to get a better response? Like, maybe it's just the way I came off, the way I talked, something. I'm always willing to look at myself before I look at others, but it was just it was a pattern. It was a pattern going on there where I'm like, alright, I don't really think I belong here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, I really don't think I should be here. But like I said, the only thing really keeping me motivated to stay and to keep pursuing is the fact that I don't have a choice. I'm here to get a trade, and I'm in a whole nother state now, so I have to make this work by any means. And yeah, it just didn't last. It didn't last long, man. It didn't last long, but I tried. That's one thing I did do. I tried. More diamond, all up. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunate, it really couldn't go through like how I thought. It was kind of embarrassing. Like I said, it was kind of disheartening. But you know, you live and you learn. You know, you live and you learn. And what I learned from that is not everything was meant for you. You know, like the dude who had dropped me off at the airport. Whenever it was the same day I found out. The same day I found out, I had to go back home. I had to find my suitcase. I had to pack it up. Everything I brought there, which I left some shit behind, and I know they took it. They did that with the other person, so I know they just took that shit because I have to receive it back and everything. But yeah, bro, it's just like what he told me is like God has a plan for everything. And maybe this wasn't a part of it. You know, he said something along those lines. You know, I didn't really care. I was kind of disheartened. So when he told me that, I was like, yeah, whatever, whatever, boomer. I didn't say it out loud, but he could just tell. I just gave him kind of like empty handshake. They tried to send me off with some food from there. I just said, nah, keep that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was just in a pissy mood because I'm like I said, I already know what I'm going back to. I'm gonna have to hear what's the plan, what's my mission, what's the, you know what I'm saying, what am I doing now. It was just gonna be that type of energy. I was gonna have to just get right back on the bus, not back on the bus, right back on that horse, you know what I mean? It was gonna be right back to the grind that I was trying to escape, you know what I'm saying? Not escape like run away from, but I was trying to get out of by getting the trade. And it was just back to the, you know, back to survival mode. It felt like I had to really start to figure it out from scratch again, because it was like that was supposed to be my answer, and I kind of fumbled that bag. So yeah, shout out to the bus driver though, because it was really crazy. Like before I left, I just started learning about him. I'm not gonna say about the administration, but it was specifically him, because he had took us to the movies. He took like a whole bus of us to the movies, and that same night, I learned about him and his family. So apparently, him and one of the lunch ladies are married, and they have kids, and they live like right outside the campus, or pretty much on the campus, but like on the outskirts. And it was cool, man, because I was like, damn. So that red hair lady, even though she really don't fuck, ooh, damn, I saw that, Spider-Man. Even though she really don't fuck with me, there was a red hair lady. I felt like it wasn't even just me. It was a mix of me and other black kids who felt like she was just racist. Like, it was like she'd be friendly and cool with all the other kids who were her color. It's funny how all these stories are just pouring out of each other, but it's just like she was cool with the other kids who were her color. But then whenever any other kids like me, my complexion, came into the line and we were talking to her, the smile faded, and she wasn't really as talkative as she was with the other kids who were her color. Let me just be, you know what I'm saying, very specific. And it seemed like she wouldn't even want to touch us. Like, she would hand everybody else their tray. Oh, you want anything else? You want sides? You want this? You want that? Boom. They just getting the full treatment. You know what I'm saying? Full service. Then we come in the line. She's quiet. That all you want? Okay. And then she'll just put your tray down on the counter for you to grab. Not hand it to you. She'll place it down, and then you have to grab it. She'll place that bitch down like you got the cooties, nigga. Like, she don't want to make any contact with you physically. But it's just like, my G, girl, home girl, home slice. What we talking about? Why you doing that? Why you acting like that? But we did not. Excuse me, damn. I didn't outright say any of this stuff. It was like, I ain't gonna make a problem if it's not gonna be addressed, or if it's, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't killing me, I really don't feel compelled to really, you know what I mean? Make it a bigger issue than what I feel it is, you know what I mean? But I felt like it's funny how not only me, I didn't just experience this, but there were other kids who were my complexion who felt the same way. So I know I'm not just tripping about that, but it's just like, it was funny to learn how he was really cool with me. Maybe he could hide it better, I don't know. Maybe he just hid the racism better, I don't know. Because it just seemed like me going to Tennessee, it felt like I was in the deep south, even though I just went one state over. But yeah, man, I'm just say it like that, bro, because it was just a lot of weird vibes I was getting over there. It was really hard to tell if it was racism, if it was just like entityism. I just made that word up. It's just like an entity just maneuvering in these people, just making them act weird, because I don't believe everybody's human. There are people who look human, who can act human, but AI can do the same thing. AI can mimic emotions. AI can mimic empathy. It can mimic spontaneity, or really just like, how should I say, what's the word for it? It can mimic randomness. It can mimic impulsiveness, but it can't really be impulsive. So, and I feel like that's what makes us human. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us able to have, you know, a personality, is being able to be unpredictable sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being so close, cookie cutter, predictable, ones and zero binary type shit. You're able to be abstract, which makes us, you know what I'm saying, beyond human, beyond machine. But I digress. There are some people there that were just like weird, and you know, it was made apparent just by how they treated people there who looked like them or didn't. And yeah, bro, that's really all I could say. It's just that experience was very eye-opening, because there are some people over there who I became pretty good friends with, or acquaintances with. I'm gonna just say it like that. I don't really believe in like friends that fast, unless it's beyond surface level shit. Like, if y'all can relate on more things than just similar music tastes or colors or activities, you know what I mean? I believe friends are people who are like family, you know? Friends are family that's like not blood related, you feel me? But like, damn. Yeah, it's just, I kind of miss that place sometimes, just because it was a good experience, but at the same time, like that bus driver said, some things are just not meant for us. So I feel like, yeah, man, I learned what I needed to learn from that, and I have to just keep pressing forward. I tried to go back, I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, it's a good opportunity. After the whole thing, the ban got lifted from Trump's initiative to take it off, because it wasn't producing. It wasn't how should I say? Because the only reason it was closed, or it was shut down, is because it wasn't producing the desired results that it was meant to produce. Like making workers, it wasn't like people were going in, and a lot of the time they were getting kicked out. They couldn't graduate. There was stuff happening on the campus that was just like, all right, maybe we should shut this shit down. It's not really going the way we thought. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. It was just not, you know what I'm saying, not producing the desired results. I'm trying to find a diamond on the roof. I'm finding all these other diamonds too. Damn, fuck. Anyway, I'm not gonna leave till I find it. There was one that was like on the ceiling. You know, I can't find it for some reason right now. But yeah, man. Hold up. Was it like, it was like kind of like out the way, like down. Maybe I already got it. I don't see it. But Yeah, dog. It was interesting, bro. There was even I don't even know if I want to tell the story to be honest, because it's like a side story if anything. There's just there was this one thing too that was kind of making me mad, more than anything. There was this gay dude. He called himself Dasani as a nickname. I don't think that was his government name. I don't think he was born with that shit. I hope not. But called himself Dasani. He was in my firefighter class, because that's the class that I was kind of doing for the fuck of it. Easy trade, easy money bet. But everybody else trying to steer me away from that, saying, oh, it's money, you're in it for money. Oh, look, this is the class for you. Well, it's like, well, damn, the other class I try to come here for is full, so fuck it, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Fuck off. But, yeah, that gay dude is in that class. So, I'm not really sure how he even caught wind of me. I guess I stick out like that because of my fucking hair. What was that? Dude, that looked like a giant, just like, I don't know what I thought that was in the distance. It looked like something was just floating, like as big as a gas, but it was just a ball of light. Anyway, yeah, this gay dude, I'm gonna just call him, yeah, Dasani, his nickname. We were on like this little, what was it, like a trip off the campus, but I forgot where we went. I think it was to the trail, because it was a part of the class assignment. So, you know what I'm saying? We were doing that, and we were on our way back from the trail, because the instructor was just telling us, like, you know, what what scouts do, or what rangers do whenever they're on a certain trail or whatever. They check for certain dead trees, any obstructions, anything that might be a fire hazard, stuff like that. They were doing the maintenance, so he was just teaching us stuff like that, what to do for stuff like that, right? And I remember that was all done with and stuff like that. We were heading back, so we were in this van / truck, whatever. And is that a baby? Oh no, he was moving fast though. But we were in this truck or whatever, heading back to campus. And the dude says, or Dasani says, hey, can I use your phone real quick? I needed. He said something. He said he needed like. Oh no, it was me. My fault. I was like, yo, you know how to do this with a picture or something like that? I was trying to zoom out or whatever to take a picture of these hills. He's like, oh yeah, I got you. You got to do this. I was like, oh shit. All right, go ahead, do that. Appreciate it. He's like, oh yeah, no problem, no problem. I should, boy. I'm never giving the gay nigga my phone again, bro. Cause I don't know why. Once I give him my phone and then I get it back, all of a sudden he knows my Instagram and he follows me on there. Did not ask for that, by the way. That was unsolicited. I did not want his Instagram, but he felt obliged to follow me, to find my Instagram and follow me on there. So I'm like, all right, okay. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, but that was not appreciated. I did not want that. I didn't even ask. But now he knows my Instagram. I ended up blocking him because I don't care. I didn't ask for it, so you can catch his block. I was not scared to block him. If he was gonna ask me about it, I would have told him just that. I didn't ask for you to follow me or me to follow you. That was unsolicited, and you kind of, you know what I'm saying? You trespassed. You went past a boundary. I asked for you to help me with a picture, not find my Instagram, but he did that. He took it upon himself to get my Instagram without my consent. So yeah, I blocked him without his consent. Anyways, only reason that I'm mentioning this is because that's not the only time where like someone who is obviously into practices that I'm not push themselves onto other people who clearly don't swing that way. It's like, this dude Lord Heck on YouTube said it best. It's just like they feel like they could like swing you that way, like they could kind of convince you to be gay. It's like my G, I was born straight. I'ma stay this way. You feel me? Like, I don't really care what your philosophy is in terms of like, oh, you're not influenced this way. You're born this way. It's like, well, I wasn't. So let me stay on that side. Cause it's like it's never worked and it will never ever fucking work that way, nigga. You ain't gonna convince me to be gay. You're not gonna try to swing my way and then have me swing back. That's not how I roll. That's not, bro. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I be feeling that way with like females who try to be like, I don't want to say dykes, but they try to be masculine, and you can tell whenever it turns off if that polarity between men and women is a normal balance. What I mean by that, I feel like a lot of the time women express a more masculine side of themselves is because they lack that from men. So they have to overcompensate for that, since they lack that example of what a masculine figure is from who it's supposed to come from, which is a man, ideally. So that's why you get masculine females, because they're like, bam, all these guys act like females. So you know what I'm saying? I guess I'll just be a better guy than them. That's what they say mentally. They probably don't say that outright like that, but it's like, you know, they feel like they might as well, right? Fuck it, why not? Because all these guys act like girls, why can't they act like a boy good, right? You know what I'm saying? And it really works, because some guys really find that attractive. I don't, but I feel like I have the ability to how should I say, equalize that polarity. So a lot of the time whenever I'm around a so-called masculine female, I can tell whenever she's more feminine around me, because she's more, I shouldn't say agreeable, but she's more receptive to what I say, to either like what jokes, to advice, to whatever else. Like even as simple things as just like how I act, like how let's say if I find a girl who's like happens to be a little bit masculine, attractive, and I flirt, you know, a masculine girl's gonna shut that shit down. They'll act like a dude. They'll turn that shit like, bro, who you talking to like that, Nick? You know what I'm saying? They'll really turn up on your ass like a dude would. And if you're not stable enough in your own masculinity, or even just your own confidence in yourself as a man, that'll steer you off. That would steer some off. That they would be like, oh shit, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll back off. They'll chill. And you know, so I respect it. It just depends where it comes from. If they're trying to intimidate me, it's probably not gonna work. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably not gonna work that way. But if they're trying to be like, yo, I don't swing that way, and that will make me uncomfortable, please don't do that no more. Shit, say less. Oops, hold up. Damn, what the hell? Say less. Alright then, I ain't gonna do it. So you straight, you got it, I got it. Bet. But message received, you feel me? I'm not gonna do anything more that's gonna make you feel like I'm trying to force anything here, you know what I mean? Because I've never really been in those situations. But I never wanted to be in one of those situations. So, you know, I'm really, I guess I should say, like, I'm high with reading emotions. Like they call that emotional intelligence. I'm a face reader. I'm a vibe reader. So if I feel like things are just not really, you know, if they're not clicking, I'm not gonna be sticking. You feel me? So, yeah, bro. It was a lot of just wait. How should I even say that? Like, it is a lot of mix up of that polarity in the world right now. I'm not saying I deal with that on a daily basis, or that's really all that was going on there in terms of, like, you know what I'm saying, homosexual people trying to swing me their way, trying to reverse that equilibrium on me. But I don't feel like that's gonna work between two people of the same biological makeup, because I can't even say two people of the same sex anymore. But, or technically I could. Gender and sex is different, but you get what I mean. Two people with a dick, I don't feel like you can out masculine or out feminize one or the other without there being some glitches. Because it's like he was trying to get me to like him, I guess, by following me on Instagram, this gay dude, getting my Instagram, and I clearly just needed help with a picture. And then him making advances. I remember we were in the gym. Just so many stories are just unfolding. We were in the gym because I think we had finished a PT, or no, our PT was in the gym that day, and we ended up being with like some other people who weren't normally in our class or whatever. So we ended up doing PT or physical training just in the gym. They had a lot of shit in there. I ended up hitting the punching bag. I would like cycle from the punching bag to the bikes, I think, to the speed bag. The speed bag was cool as fuck. I love the speed bag. Pause. Not because it looks like a testicle. It just, I like it. Never mind. Fuck it. I take it back. I can't even say that. But yeah, bro. I feel like what he was even doing in there, that's how I knew he was one of those types to really force himself on you. And the only reason I say that is because he was trying to do something called Desani's yoga session or some shit like that. So he was trying to get, I mean, he had already got some other males, but he was trying to get a lot of other people, including myself, to stretch with him. And during these stretches, he would be touching you like on your thighs to make sure your leg is all the way pulled back, some shit like that. Whatever. Just touching you. I didn't feel comfortable with the touching part. I didn't want to do that shit. So every time he would try to he was not even trying to coerce. This dude ended up trying to pull me off the bike. Like I didn't want to do it anymore, and I'm gonna do the stretching. I'm like, nigga, leave me, like, get, like, I don't want to say what I said, but I'm like, get off, like, deadass, get off. I'm not playing, like, cause that's the thing I don't like. I respect everyone, or at least I try to, but whenever you're overtly trying to, like, I don't know, get your own rocks off or some shit like that, or you're just making me uncomfortable with your preferences, I'm like, dog, well, nah, we ain't doing that. We're not doing that. That's borderline rape, nigga. But I'm not gonna say it because of pride. I'm not gonna say I would never, bro, never. I would never sit here and say I got raped, molested by a gay dude, or even a woman. Like, it just comes down to just simple pride shit like that. He was trying to get to a side of me where I'm like, bro, if you don't, you know what I'm saying? Hold up. Like, if you don't back the fuck up, that's, like, he was pushing me to say shit like that. Like, I feel like if those words had to come out of my mouth, you were doing something you shouldn't be doing. And he was doing shit to really make me come close to that phrase a lot. Only because of that. And I'm like I said, bro, I'd be damned if I ever have to come out. I'd be damned if I ever had to come out and be like, yeah, bro, a man molested me. A man touched my genitals. Like, bro, fuck no. Fuck that, bro. I don't even know why I'm talking about that now. Talking about fondling genitals and stuff like that. But long story short, though, a lot of stuff happened in my time in Tennessee. And even though there weren't all bad instances, they weren't all uncomfortable, it was a good mix of a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of left that place really only sad because, like I said, just of my current circumstance. I was like, damn, I gotta really figure it out, because this is like a good place to get it's a good place to get a free trade. And a lot of the time you have to do shit like that. You have to pay for that, and they pay you to stay there. As long as you can get your classes done, get that trade, and get out, you're Gucci. As long as you can really stick it out through those type of circumstances, Job Corp is for you. You feel me? Job Corp is for you, because it's not for the weak. It's not for the weak. There's some people who shouldn't be there. There's some people who want to be there just equally as you, just trying to get their shit, but there's just some urges or things that they can't control. So you're going to have to learn how to adapt, really, because that's just the type of place it is. That's just the type of place the world is. A lot of people, it just seems like they lack a certain level of self-control sometimes, or sometimes all the time, based on what I've been saying, this whole thing about this damn place, fuck. But it's like, yeah, man, you just have to learn how to maneuver, dog. You need to be able to find your heaven in this hell, because there's a lot of things about this world that really makes me feel like this isn't the final destination, bro. Even how Jesus said, I think it was in the book of John, chapter 8, how he says he's just passing through. How the people of this world, the people who were of here, this is where it ends for them. This is really all that they measure up to, that they you know what I'm saying, they how should I say, bro? They infatuate themselves with. They pretty much engulf themselves in the world in many different ways, whether it's materialistically, whether how they judge other people, like, oh, you're broke, that means you're not really doing what you're supposed, you know what I'm saying? They measure things based off of fleshly matters, based off of things you can measure physically, instead of how good of a person you are, versus how good manners you have, how respectful you are as a person, how genuine you are. A lot of people, they you can't see that outright, so therefore they ignore it. You know what I'm saying? They can't see it on you, so it might as well not even be there. That's who Jesus was referring to the Pharisees whenever he said, ye are from beneath, I am from above. And I am not of here, or I am not from here, but simply passing through. I kind of paraphrase that, but I'd end up reading that whole chapter before I hopped on, because I was like, damn, I wonder really like who he was talking to and what he meant. And what I got from that verse is, this place is merely like a circle. It's like a hub. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you log on here, whenever you're born, you get this body as a temporary. You get this body as like a temporary vessel, a temporary I guess like, I don't want to say console because I'm playing one, but it's like, this is a temporary suit. It's like Avatar. Think of it like Avatar, deadass. You log in into a vessel. Your consciousness is not physically attached to your body. Even how data is saved on your device, it's not. Damn, God, it's not physically on your device. Data that's saved on a device is within its electromagnetic field. I already proved this on my first channel, and whenever you delete something, your device has to reverse its electromagnetic field. So that makes you wonder how your body operates if your device does that. And a device like a phone, a laptop, is just like the body is. So this is just a machine, long story short. The GPU and the CPU is not the same thing. Hardware, software, not the same thing is what I'm trying to say. So it's just, that's how I see that, just in its simplicity. You were not strictly the body. Although you have a body, you were not of the body. And that's exactly what Jesus is saying in that chapter, in that verse. In John chapter 8, I think it's verse 20, he says that he is simply passing through this world. He is not from this world, but he is from the Father. And that's where I feel like all people who have a light, who have a soul, that is the truth. We are not from this realm, because this whole realm, this is probably what I've said before, but I'm gonna break it down in a way that's unrefutable, because you have to really think about life this way. This realm, I see it the way I see it as a hell realm, because the whole theme of this realm is to be selfish. What do I mean by that? If you don't eat, if you don't feed yourself by the end of every day, you're gonna be hungry. If you don't feed yourself before you starve, you're going to die. So in order to feed, to eat, to live, you must take life from something else. Because a lot of people argue, oh, don't kill the animals, we need vegetables, we need fruits. But if you didn't know, fruits and vegetables are just as alive as animals. They may not be able to move or animate themselves, but that's the only way that you're able to get energy from something that's alive. So even you eating fruit or vegetables or animals, you need to take life from something else to give it to yourself. So only reason I say that is because God didn't have to make us go hungry. God could have made it to where we don't get hungry. We can just die of old age. But there's a reason. That's a law of this world. Because what else does it say in the Bible? The God of this world. There is a God of this world that controls the air, that controls the music, that controls the laws of this world, of you want to call it the physical world or society, however you want to put it. There is a power over this realm that the Most High does not get rid of for a reason, that God doesn't destroy for a reason. I feel like whether you want to say because they work together in unison, fine, you can definitely say that. You can definitely say that. That's up to you how you see that. But there are catalysts. God damn! And I'm getting phantoms. Alright. There are catalysts for good and there's catalysts for evil. There's catalysts for the neutral. There's catalysts just for being an observer. There's people who don't do shit. They just observe what's happening. They're like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm one of them. Like those are called watchers. Those are angels. I wouldn't want to call myself an angel. I guess by definition, because an angel is just a messenger, and that's what I feel like. You know, you can call Jesus that. You can call Jesus an angel. He's just a messenger, just like Muhammad, just like Abraham was. They're all forms of angels in the Bible, technically, by definition, not by a literary sense, because some people don't really see angels as the same thing. But you get what I mean. This whole realm is based off of selfishness, and you must obey by that law to some degree to survive. To be entirely selfless, that's to be what Jesus was. To be what they say to be a living sacrifice. He existed solely to give information. He didn't charge for it, which is why he was homeless. He went from place to place. He didn't have a place to lay his head. Technically, Jesus was a homeless man. He was not rich. He didn't desire to be rich either, because to be rich, what you got to be selfish. You have to capitalize on other people's deficit. There are some people who are so desperate for an answer, for a way out, or just for advice, for direction, that they will literally pay you. They'll pay you. And there are some people who are okay with that. To be a businessman, you need to be okay with capitalizing capitalizing. You know, what do they call it? Capitalism. You need to be able to capitalize on other people. You need to be able to make them your prey almost. You need to feed. So, bro, language is so deep. Language is so deep because you feed yourself, and that's how these entities, the God of this world, feeds himself, by preying on those who are unknowing. You know what I'm saying? Preying on those who he can capitalize on. It's the theme of this realm. You must be selfish to some degree to survive. And there's some people who take that to an extreme that's inhumane. You know what I'm saying? People have always talked about how billionaires can feed the entire planet. They can cure hunger and still be rich. So why don't they do it? Because they're selfish. They're selfish. In the Bible, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to make it into heaven. Why? Because he must give up his possessions. He needs to become unselfish. He needs to become selfless. But to do that, you need to give everything up. What did Jesus say? To drop everything and fall. Shut the fuck up! Damn! Oh my God! It's just that fucking thunder. It's like every time I really get into a mode, I'm trying to talk, it just gets louder. Anyways, oh my gosh. He says to drop everything and follow me. To get rid of everything and follow me. If ye wish to be perfect as I am, drop everything and follow me. Rich man couldn't do it. He had to walk back to his mansion or whatever the fuck they had at the time. Because it's very hard once you're engulfed in the world to leave it behind. Because that's all some people know. When they're born, all they see from other people or on TV or through their circle is what they lack. And so some people just live off lack. And to hide that, they make it seem like they got it going. Oh shit, you see my new shoes? You see my new shirt? You see where I'm going? I'm in the Bahamas. You not, bitch? You know what I'm saying? They do stuff like that. They'll make you feel like you're lacking, and it's just a constant cycle of people who just feel like they don't have enough, so they have to make you feel like they do. Whereas really they're just making themselves feel like that. But I digress. Because I almost forgot how I even got to this point. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just kind of yapping at this point, and I'm going the wrong way. God damn it. I think. Hold on. Where's the village at? Let me see the coordinates. Because I took a picture of it for a reason. I think it was negative axis though for 215, 95, 783. Okay. Yeah, I'm way out. Hold up. This way? Yeah, this way. 9 something. I gotta go this way. Yeah, this way. Fuck. Anyways. Yeah, bro. To be in this realm, you have to be selfish to a degree. And although I'm not saying I agree with that or that's a good thing, it's the truth. It's the truth. You need to have a level of selfishness just to survive. You know what I'm saying? If you were always a good person and you always just gave away your food, gave away your money, gave away everything you had, you'd probably be looked at as a good person, but who would really look out for you then? If you always looked out for others, you'd have to really depend on someone else to be just as kind to you. And a lot of the time, it's not like that. People will take advantage of kindness, unfortunately. And you know, me just saying that without having like an alternative argument to really you know what I'm saying, back that up, or like, you know, how should I say, like, make that not true? It's evident. It's evident. If you try to be an overly good person, I've even experienced it as well. Especially in this online space, a lot of people will challenge that. They'll make you seem disingenuous for being genuine. Some people don't even like that. Some people hate the fact that some people are really just that kind. Because I've had it happen to me on here. Where a grown ass man, matter of fact, I ain't even gonna say his fucking name. I'm not gonna say the content creator's name. I wasn't rocking with him like that, but it was one that I respected because I considered him an elder. And this man accused me of a whole bunch of shit that it really made me mad initially, but then it kind of put me in a state of depression for a minute. Because, bro, I'm not gonna lie, it was just like, damn, like, of all the good I've talked, of all the information that I bring, just to expand the perspective, what he was saying about me, it seemed like it was rooted in hatred. And I've never said anything about, and I still haven't. as much shit as he said about me, the only thing I could say, the only thing I have said about him that is undesirable maybe to him is that he's a grown ass man talking about someone younger than him in a manner that seemed like he had beef with me, personal beef. Never met this dude, never had any interaction with him, and he was mad at me because of the way someone else acted. And he was blaming me for this, accusing me of that, like I was conspiring against him, like I planned it, I was in on it or whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, if that's what you think, that's what you think. He wanted there to be a beef so he could expose me for not being who I claim to be. I literally felt like Jesus being crucified in that moment. And I'm not saying I am him, but fuck it, I might as well be, nigga. Fuck! Because the way he was coming at me and talking about me was insane, bro. And I did nothing but share the knowledge that I researched, peer research, that I thought about critically. Just staring shit like that. And I felt like this is a grown-ass man who felt threatened by that. So what did he have to do? He had to insult me. He had to ridicule me. He had to make everybody, like, because there was so many content creators that were watching me through one platform whenever I was going, thank you, Dolphin. Thank you, Young Dolph. Whenever I was going on that platform so often, bro, there was a lot of content creators who were watching. And I could tell because they would pick up my talking points. Not saying like I'm like crazy important or some shit like that, but I call it recency theory. Before I even had it confirmed by AI, if that was even a real term, that was my definition of that, where I called it recency theory. You could tell who somebody's been listening to, who they've been around, based off of what they say, how they act, what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's a recency thing. Your brain is almost like I said earlier with the GPU. There's RAM, where the computer stores all the active data that you're more likely to engage with, more likely to use. You better look at somebody else, fuck nigga. You're more likely to use that, so it stores it in RAM, readily accessible memory or some shit like that. Or recently accessed memories and shit like that. You know, man, you get it. Your brain works the same way. It holds it in the RAM, and a lot of time people operate off that RAM, not just memory. They're not really deep digging in their archives. A lot of people don't think nowadays, especially. That's a story for another day, or maybe in a couple minutes. You feel me, bro? Like, it was a whole bunch of shit. I could just tell these niggas were just like, you know what I mean? They were listening to me, and then they would take it as their own talking point, and they wouldn't give me any acknowledgement, which I'm not gonna lie, I guess I was kind of looking for that, because it was making me mad. I'm like, damn, he sounds just like me. And once I stopped going on those platforms, I just stopped really tuning in. I'm like, you know what I mean? If a grown ass man can exude this much hatred towards the younger generation, I don't want to be around anybody else, bro. That was like that experience I had with those people, bro. That was probably that was like fuck a heartbreak. That was, bro. Hold up. Let me eat this fucking bread. I had 4 bites for 3. That was like one of the most heart-wrenching experiences I ever had to go through, bro. Because I just wanted to help people by spreading my perspective, by spreading knowledge, and it went from that to me getting ridiculed. The dude who I kept going, the dude who had the platform that kept allowing me on, after he accused me, or no, not even accused me, he denounced me, bro. He denounced me. He was like, I forgot exactly what he said, bro, but he literally thought I was in on it. He started blaming me for the fact that it fucked up or something like that, and I'm like, oh, word. So you care more about saving face. Oh my god. If I die from a fucking phantom, no phantom. If I die simply because I haven't slept, that would be so stupid. But, bro, I was so upset because it was like, damn, this same dude who I looked at is like kind of like an elder. At one point, he's like he's denouncing me to save face for his brand, for an image, and it's not even true. But they're mad because of what someone else did, for what this kid did, and I couldn't control what he did because I ain't seen this dude. I don't hang around nobody. And after this kid ended up pulling up on them in their location. So it made them uncomfortable, made them on edge. They couldn't trust each other. Therefore, they just couldn't trust me. Because they're like, damn, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what y'all going to do. So they just started accusing everybody, including myself, of things that never happened. talking about we're conspiring against them, that we planned it, that we could have did something more. I'm like, nigga, I came there to interview you. I came there to do an interview for content on your channel and go home. I didn't have to do that. And mind you, at what made it worse is that this dude was making me feel guilty for not having fun, quote unquote, for being too serious. He was making me feel bad for being too serious. And then when I finally am like, all right, you're right. I'm being too serious. I need to stop overthinking, doing this and that shit. Bro, whenever that happened, and then he just totally turned on me and made me feel like, or made me and others believe that I'm just in the wrong for even stepping out. And I was like, fuck everybody, fuck everything. Because these are grown-ass men who just took no accountability for that situation, blame it on everybody else. It was everybody else's fault. And then it came down to us because we're the younger generation. So it's easy. And we didn't have a platform. I didn't have a platform to defend myself, nigga. I ain't have an audience to defend myself. So I'm getting crucified without a voice. I'm over here getting accused of doing shit I never did, but never conspired with. Bro. All because they bro, never mind, because it's just making me mad to even tell the story again. But how that whole situation unfolded and how life is, bro. A lot of people are just out for self. A lot of people operate in that self-sustenance, and that's the only thing that makes the devil and Jesus different, is what they do with that power, what they do with their influence. Are they using it for selflessness or for selfishness? There's a line with everything. When does intelligence turn to ignorance? When does selflessness turn to selfishness? You feel me? There's a line with everything, bro. And you have to know what side you are on. Fuck. You got to know what side you're on with that. This is what I'm trying to say, bro. I want to be selfless because there's a lot of things that I just don't care about anymore because I just realize how vain it is, you know? And I ain't gonna say crucified no more, but I get ridiculed for it. People say, like, you know what I'm saying, it's just not that deep. They try to make me feel silly or like I'm doing too much for thinking the way I do. But it's just how I've compiled my information, my perspective, my experiences to get the perspective that I have now. So I'm not just gonna allow anyone, especially after that situation that I just got done verbalizing, I'm not gonna allow anybody to make me feel any type of way about what I do anymore, because clearly people are not always gonna have your best interest, even though they say they do. People are not always gonna be honest with you, even though they say they will. People are not always going to just be there for you, even though they say they will be that. Like, bro, I don't take anything for just its face value no more. I don't take anything for just what they say. It needs to be proven. It needs to be proven, because this is the same way I'm willing to. They should be able to. If they can't, adios, nigga. I don't do the benefit of the doubt anymore, because that's what got me into that situation in the first place. There was a lot of stuff, a lot of feelings, a lot of evidence or patterns that I would ignore, and it got me into situations that I didn't want to be in eventually, just because I was ignoring certain red flags that you end up thinking about after it's all said and done. You're like, damn, they was doing that though. I remember they did this shit. I remember they did that shit before the final straw has ever hit. People tend to ignore that because you can't logically explain a feeling. A lot of the time, you cannot logically explain just the vibe you get. You can't logically explain your gut feeling. So that's why people tend to ignore it, because they're like, oh shit, well I'm just imagining things or some shit like that. But you have multiple brains in your body for a reason. The mental brain, the emotional brain, which is your gut feeling, and then technically your heart too will be connected to that, but it's just really for pumping blood. That's the blood machine right there. But they say your second brain is in your stomach, and the only way you can allow that to operate properly is if you're not always eating. And even when you are eating, try not to eat bullshit. Try not to eat McDonald's or fast food or fried foods, because it's just like, that's like going to a flower garden and pouring fucking oil on that shit. It's like, what, bro? They're not helping that shit. You know what I'm saying? Although it's a liquid, yes. Although although flowers take liquids, not all liquids work. You're not gonna put gasoline on a flower and expect that shit to grow. It's the same thing for your body. Your body is the temple of God. Your body is a vessel for God that He expresses Himself through, also through animals, also through a burning bush, apparently according to the Bible, also through a cloud of storms. So many things. So many things. God is not just one image. God is just not fine or fixated to one form of expression. God is infinite, bro. Oh, what's good, Kobe? Kobe Stadia. I don't know how to say that. My fault. Damn, that shit got retracted so fast. What's good though, bro? I ain't never seen you in here before. That's new. What's good, Kobe? But yeah, bro. It's just like, I thought that was insane though. My experiences just with people online, like in those spaces, whenever I was preaching, I guess you could call it preaching. My experiences with people in person, like I said, at Job Corp, some people are just, you know what I'm saying? Some people you just don't need to be around. Because like I said, they might not have your best interests. They might not be reflecting the Spirit of God. And the Spirit of God, I feel like, is just truth. The Spirit of God, that is how should I say? That is transparent. It's transparent. It's not murky. But what's good, though? I see you again, Kobe. What's good, bro? Like, that's why I feel like God is also embodied as light, because light makes everything clear. It's not dark. Dark symbolizes the unknown, the unseen. Light symbolizes transparency, what you can see, what you can measure. I'm not saying you can measure the Spirit, but that's why they say the fruits of the Spirit. You measure someone by their fruits, not their words. What do they do? Their actions. How do they talk to you? What's their tone? It's stuff like that I learned from the Bible that I take with me in everyday life, because a lot of people just read the book and be like, oh yeah, I read the Bible. Yes, I'm a Christian. You know what I'm saying? They'll say shit like that, and they simply read just to feel good about themselves, or they acquire knowledge just to have a shell of defense that they're smart, or they feel superior in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It's just shit like that. Kobe Sturdia. Did I say it right? Kobe Sturdia? I don't know if that's like Latin or something, or something else, but that's what's up. Can I call you Kobe for short? Never mind. I was gonna say AI for the last part, but I'm gonna call you Kobe for short if you don't mind. But yeah, man. My whole experience just with people who really don't align with like my form of thought or just my frequency, it's just, I'm not really willing to deal with that just for the sake of dealing with it anymore, just to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, I feel like we're in a time, if you're really tapped in. Oh, you said yeah? All right, bet. Appreciate it. I feel like we're in a time where intuition is sharp. If you're tapped in with yourself, like I said, if you eat well enough for your body not to be a junkyard for food, you know what I'm saying? If you're tapped enough to where you can be emotionally intelligent, if you are emotionally intelligent, if it's a skill developed or just a gift given, just because you just got that gift, this realm and time, 2025 and beyond, whatever it started, really 2020 for, oh, nigga! I don't know if I just saved myself by blocking, but bro, intuition is your best friend. Intuition, you cannot ignore that, especially nowadays, bro. Because, like I said, giving people the benefit of the doubt, and at least in my personal experience, is how I ended up in undesirable situations. When you ignore bad feelings, if you see a pattern that normally leads to negative outcomes, and you just, you know what I'm saying? He's just, everybody's human. We all make mistakes. No, bro. You really have to tally these up. Not just one, but there needs to be, I should say, 3 strikes. I'm gonna say 3 strikes. Honestly, I give people 3 strikes. I'm not gonna lie. I know people say a red flags, whatever the fuck like that. You need to be able to analyze whenever someone is just not aligned. When they're not aligned with you, whether it's your life path, mentally, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many things that still happen day to day where I just know I don't need to be around somebody, or I don't need to be talking or entertaining them, because I've just gotten to the point where people say certain words, their certain vocal tone, I'm that tapped in where I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really need to be fucking with you. Like, I've gotten to that point where I could just pick up on these cues, whether subconsciously or consciously now, and I just move in the way that I feel like I should move. Because if you always leave it to logic, you'll be led astray. If you always leave it to intuition, you could be led astray, like I said, because sometimes your emotions you're not always on point emotionally. Sometimes you could really be having a bad day. Somebody who's trying to help you, you take it the wrong way, and all of a sudden they're an enemy, and they really have good intention for you. So you need to be able to balance that power of logic and feeling. That's what I was trying to say in another stream before. What's up? You need to be able to balance logic and feeling, because depending one on the other, that's an imbalance. You're gonna be imbalanced that way, and you want to maintain the balance, the middle way, the straight way. You feel me? Amen. You feel me? I appreciate you. Hold up, let me harmonica that bit. Yeah, type shit. You feel me though? Oh, I thought he heard that. All right, but like, I get passionate about these things because it took me up until this point, and I'm still evolving right now to get to a refined point of awareness, knowledge, just wisdom, period, to where I don't want to deal with people who shouldn't be in my life, because there's a lot of people who will make you feel crazy for even thinking the way that you do, simply because they don't agree with it. And I don't like shit like that, because a lot of people have come into my life and they've made me feel, and they've almost made me question my entire experience, my entire forms of knowledge that I've built up until that point of time. They'll make me feel stupid or crazy for even, you know what I'm saying, thinking a certain type of way. I'm like, who are you? I'm like, who are you? God? You know what I'm saying? Or what do you know that I can, like, that's really what I say. What I need to learn something from you for me to even qualify what you say as valid and opinion or input. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many people, like the dude from last night, no disrespect, what's his name, on Universe Mod or something, it was Twist. He had 2 different accounts. There's some people who will literally disagree with you because they feel that it's wrong. They can't even prove it. I asked homeboy for Minecraft, I asked Buddy for just some verses, simple verses. I just wanted some Bible verses just to prove what he was saying. He couldn't do it. He brought up the conversation, if I believe in God. I told him my perspective. He didn't like my answers, and he was telling me they were wrong. I'm like, oh, if they're wrong, can you biblically prove it? Can you prove it through verse? And he could not do it, and he left the conversation that he started. It didn't make any sense. But that's what I meant. That's what I mean. If people can't even prove it or show, you know what I'm saying, proof of their knowledge or their scholarship or their opinions, you shouldn't even be listening to that, because that just means that they're just trying to sway you. And where I'm at in my point in my life, bro, there are some people who will be deliberately sent just to do shit like that. You just found your videos, it was good, easy, big, and y'all good, boy. You got 2 new ones in the chat. Shout out, bro. Shout out Easy. Shout out fuck, I already forgot. Shout out Easy. Shout out Kobe. You feel me? Kobe. Yeah, bro. Damn. It's like, it's so simple though. It's literally that simple. There are some people who will be literally sent in your life to be confusion. They'll be sent in your life to be in opposition, who might disguise themselves as a friend, an acquaintance, a co-worker, a family member, until you can stand your ground in a calm way. Because what I noticed too is that they love the gaslight as well. Like, whenever they feel challenged or threatened, like, I don't know, it's a spirit, bro. I don't know if it's always logical, but there's some people who will just be like, you know what, man, like, I don't really think you should be thinking that way, or hey, I don't think you should be doing that, you feel me? And it's like, sometimes it's out of good intention, but if you can logically, or even yes, like logically, but I'm talking about biblically, like, if you could give enough perspective for why you're not wrong in what you do, a logical person, someone with sound reasoning, will be like, oh, okay, I understand your perspective. I see why you do these things. I see why you think that way, or, you know, you act the way you act. And then there's some people, you understand they're not meant to be in your life by the way they respond to that. Or they kind of throw a fit, you know what I'm saying? They get mad at you for how you choose to be. And it's so fucking, it's odd. It's like, why are you here? Like, what are you really here for? That's the point I'm at, where I watch closely everybody who enters my life now. Because after that recent thing I was talking about with them content creators happened, where we all just fell out because of what this one motherfucker did, I was like, I'm never just gonna be trusting people again. I don't care what they stand for. I don't care how nice they seem to sound or come off to be. I need to see fruits of the spirit. I need to see patterns. This is a good person. This is a person of reason. This is a person I can trust. Just period, or just even believe in. Because there's so many people who will come as a Christian, a Israelite, a this, a that, and have ulterior motives, and you won't even think it just because of the title they hold. But some things are spiritual. Some things are happening subconsciously where they can't even logically explain why they act the way they act. But if you have a discerning eye, you're able to avoid that bullshit. You discern so, bro, the discernment becomes so crazy accurate, they can't even comprehend how you know what you know, because you can't either. It's intuition, it's wisdom. It's exactly what Jesus utilized while he was here, and he was telling people how to tap into that. You know what I'm saying, bro? Hold up. He said some random person came to me yesterday. By the way, I had no idea who that was, and he was trying to force me to do some weird shit, and it was like, huh? And he grabbed their arm and tries. That's funny because I just told the story too, how some dude, whenever I was over in this little boarding school, he was doing the same shit. He was trying to force me to do something. I hate shit like that. You said you and your friend are going to play Dwellers? Oh shit, y'all crazy. You crazy. I saw that in the marketplace. Good luck. Hey man, try not to have a heart attack, bro. I know that shit look kind of crazy. You said, sorry I got cut off. Here's the rest. So they pushed him off and he said, hey, get back here. So I booked it to my house and shut the door. God damn. That man was trying to, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to touch you. And he kind of got away with it, but I ain't going to say it like that. I ain't going to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say that, but that's crazy. I don't like people like that who try to coerce you to do something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what was you sent for? You know what I'm saying? They might not consciously know that, but it's like, there's a reason for everything, whether it's a mental reason people have it, an emotional reason, or there's something spiritual, which a lot of people don't even believe in. But that I feel like that is an avenue of life that people need to start considering, especially in this time, like I'm saying, where we need to utilize more intuition, because there is a lot happening to people spiritually, and a lot of it is coming through physical mediums. Now, a part of what I'm saying is coming through stuff that because I do a lot of like, I don't even know if I call it like, I don't screenwrite. I've never produced any films, but whenever I watch like movies or TV, people who make these for us, like the people who make the films, people who make music, they put these things in there deliberately for a reason. Certain music at certain times, certain camera angles, certain facial cues. I read all that on the screen now, so I don't just read the plot or pay attention to the plot, but I pay attention to the subtle details that are even in the screen, because it parallels to real life. You know what I'm saying? If it's really something worth watching, a lot of the time it mimics real life. And what I've learned is that energy needs to be expressed. You cannot create nor destroy energy. You can only be transformed, right? And they say in communication that language, like verbal communication, that is strictly less, like 10% or less than communication, and the rest is body language, vocal tone, eye contact. There's vibe. There's a vibe there that's unspoken, and a lot of people try to hide intention. They try to hide how should I say? They try to hide like true motives through words. And that is the smallest percentage of communication, which is why it's different talking to someone on the phone versus in person. You know what I'm saying? I remember having a friend, quote unquote, he could never look me in the eye. And I always used to make fun of him about that. But now, you know, I'm just looking back on that retrospectively. I think he had maybe it was a battle of spirits between me and him, which is why he specifically couldn't look people like me in the eye. It seemed like for everyone else, or mainly everybody else, I guess, he had no problem doing that. But it's always like every time me and him like were in close proximity and I was trying to look at him, he could never look at me in the face. And there's a lot of people, I feel like, who, if they can't do that, there's a spirit on them. There's one on you, whether you be righteous, you be conscious, and they can't handle that, or vice versa. Maybe they are and you not. You know what I'm saying? It just depends. You need to do that by the fruits of the spirit. You know what I mean? You can't just say, just because someone does that they're this. Because sometimes I do that in public and I don't want to look at anybody. Because a lot of people just stare at you. They'll give you a blank stare, like I was just talking about in the story earlier. They'll just look at you. You trying to be cordial. Hey, what's up? Head nod. They just look at you like a fucking peasant. Like, all right, gotcha. Like, sometimes I don't want to deal with that. Sometimes I don't want to say hi just to get stared at, so I don't look at anybody. That's my reason, you know? That's what I mean. Need to look at the fruits. But hold on, let me read what y'all saying though, because I don't want to leave y'all. You said, I mean, he was one of the crazy dudes in the neighborhood. That was a crackhead. Goddamn. Let me stop. I don't know if he was. My fault. You said, I know some people who always think us Christians just nonstop read the Bible and pray. But the truth is, we are normal people too with different personalities and beliefs. Agreed. Because I don't, I'm glad you said that. Because I don't necessarily call myself a Christian, but I don't denounce the Bible. Because what is it? Islam, Christianity, and Judaism are all Abrahamic religions, as I said earlier. So y'all are technically not disagreeing with each other. Y'all just see that literature in different ways, which is fine. According to each one, I mean, or at least how I should say, like, just the majority, they all have the same meaning: to treat each other how you wish to be treated. And I'd rather someone not fuck me over. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather someone be honest with me and I'll be honest with them. I'd rather someone look out for me and I'll look out for them. Those are all the main characteristics of Jesus. And I feel like he was trying to teach us these traits to be able to have within ourselves. If we're going to be doing greater works than he after he is gone, if he says the only way to the Father is to follow me, to the literal definition of follow is to observe. You can look it up. To observe, to literally follow after, or to consider. And to consider, that's another sub-definition of the word think. And to think, consider, the etymology of consider is to ponder, I think, or even it goes strictly to the word star. I've done the etymology of language to an extent that is kind of crazy, dog. And that's what I've gotten just from these verses, is that we're supposed to model our life in the flesh as Christ, not literally follow him, which is why I don't call myself a Christian. But these ideals have been told, bro, time way before Christ was even a thought, way before Christianity was developed in the Council of Nicaea. I forgot when they did that in Rome, but Rome came out of Greece, and Greece got inspired from Egypt. And there are many different figures who have preached the same thing. So it doesn't matter exactly where they get it, as long as I know that they're not gonna fuck me over. You feel me? That's how I feel as a person. Oh, you said you're not fully Christian, but they do support God and Jesus. All right, I respect that. I respect that honesty. I'm glad you said that too, because a lot of people feel like if you read the Bible, you have to be a Christian. Not necessarily though, you know. Because I read the Quran. I think this with the K, not a Q, but I read the Quran written by Muslims, not Muslims, because they came before. And yeah, it has Jesus in that book. Jesus is in that book. The Prophet Muhammad, I haven't got across him yet. But by definition, Jesus wasn't the only prophet, or Jesus wasn't the only messenger, because so was Moses. So was even, bro, John the Baptist had to baptize Jesus. He played his part in being a messenger for the Christ, for that to even be a thing in this realm. If John the Baptist didn't play his part, Jesus wouldn't have got baptized. But probably wouldn't have got, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have went down the way it did. But I hope y'all get what I mean, bro. I feel like I don't have to over explain myself here. I feel like y'all are pretty understanding, which is fire. Because some of the people I'm talking about in these stories as well, they've come with a spirit that I wasn't consciously aware of. And me at the time, I wouldn't even say like fixated on proving myself, but I wanted to be right. And if someone didn't agree with my perspective, I felt like I wasn't right. I felt like I was wrong somehow. But it's like, no, that just because they don't agree doesn't mean I'm wrong. Now, if they can really reason, because I shouldn't even say logically, but if they can bring me to reason why I'm wrong about something, that makes sense. That's a different story. Because like I said, I'm never afraid to be wrong. You gotta let me know that, like, for real, not just make me feel bad about what I believe or do, but you need to bring me to the conclusion you got to, why I'm incorrect, why I'm in wrong standing. You know what I'm saying? You said I gotta go since I have some things to do outside. Do you think you will live? Oh, do you think you will be later? I thought he was gonna say if I'm gonna live. I'm like, I hope. You think you're gonna be live later? I hope so. I'm gonna try. It's probably gonna be super late. If I do, you'll know. Make sure you subscribe though. I hate to say that, but you know what I'm saying. That's how you'll know for sure. Turn on the notifications, cause there's no guarantee. I just started going live again recently, so I'm gonna try to though. But I appreciate you, Kobe. I appreciate it, dog. I appreciate it for real. Much love. Yeah, bro. Bring me to the conclusion you got to for why I'm wrong. Not because you feel that way, but because I am. And then I'll walk there with you. I'm not afraid to be wrong, but a lot of people, what I'm talking about in particular, they'll make me feel wrong about my perspective of certain ideals, my philosophy, my this or that. I'm like, you can't make me feel bad about coming to these conclusions myself, bro. It's like you got to do something else. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let me know. Besides making me feel bad about the conclusions I've come to, because I've come to these conclusions through research, through experience, through I shouldn't even say peer review because I'm not like a scientist or a researcher, but I research for fun. I literally research for fun. Every time I'm not on stream, I like doing the etymology of words, because sometimes words will have like, sometimes one word is made up of like 2 or 3 other words, which is insane. And I love doing shit like that, because it's like, damn, what does this word really mean? And then you plug it into, bro, it's fire. I just love it. And some people think that's just boring. But you said, yo, I've been subbed for a month. Oh shit, I just haven't been able to catch your live. Oh damn, hey, I didn't even know that. Oh shit. Yo, shout out, bro, shout out. Hey, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna try to be live later, because this isn't my console anymore. But if I'm live, you'll know though, you'll know. I normally go live when the sun is down. Normally around the times of like 10 and after, like 10 p.m. and after. But yeah, that's what's up. Dang, I didn't know you was a sub though. That's it. This is the first best theme. Hey man, I appreciate that. On God, bro. Shout out Easy, shout out Kobe, man, deadass. Cause I be going live whenever I can now. I used to go live. I was going live for good. It was what, before summer started? I was going live 1 month, almost consecutively. But just a lot's been happening, so I can't really like do that as much. But yeah, since y'all are, or since you asking though, Kobe, yeah, man, I'm gonna try to stream later though. Just because, man, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Damn, like for real. But yeah, man, there's just been so many things that have happened that have got me to this point, and people will simply try to ridicule or reverse all of that simply because of how they feel. I'm like, don't just feel that it's wrong, prove it. Prove that I'm wrong. Prove that I'm interpreting this incorrectly or that incorrectly, or I'm in wrong standing. And there's been some ways, you know, like in my personal life where I've had to like kind of sit back after a conversation and be like, damn, she was right, or damn, he was right. You know what I mean? Like maybe I am tripping. You know what I mean? Maybe I am taking things too personal, or I'm jumping off the deep end too fast. I've had to do that. I've really had to do that. He said, yeah, also, do you know a person who used to go to your stream by the name of Maureen? That name doesn't ring a bell. I don't want to lie, but that specific name, no. I can't think of anybody. It's been a minute though. There was like a whole other demographic of people who used to join my streams. I haven't really been seeing them lately, but no, I don't recall somebody with that name though, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, man, there's been so much that's happened in my life that just really kind of like, damn, it just makes you wonder like what people are there for, what their purpose is. But you have to really come to that conclusion yourself through evidence, through patterns, and through your intuition. It needs to be refined to a point of purity, because I used to just kind of jump off the deep end with how I felt in the spur of a moment. But you need to be able to sit with the thought and then analyze how that thought makes you feel. That's the key. Because if you're simply just going to go off a thought out of the spur of the moment, at the heat of the moment, and it's just like, oh damn, they made me mad, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Fuck him, like fuck everybody. Then that's not the way to go about things at all. Because it's just like, You know, you're always gonna feel that way if you're just jumping off the edge that fast, or jumping off the deep end that fast about anything. But I feel like if you refine your intuition by let's say just trusting it, you know what I mean? You get into a situation, you feel like you should do something else, do that thing. If you end up being right, that's practice. You end up practicing with your intuition. You end up being like, all right, bet, like, we on the right track. You know what I'm saying? Versus anything else, if you get an undesired result, you'd be like, god damn, so shit, fuck it. Oh, you said, because I have a friend who was named Marine, and he's who told me about you. Hold up, what the hell? Not to that. I was just hearing glitching in my ears. What the hell? But I'm only hesitant to believe that because someone else, they pranked me doing that same thing. I doubt you're doing the same thing, but it was some dude called Soldat. He went under another account and said that, but I doubt you're doing the same thing. So shout out to your friend. I don't remember that name, but I know people share my content. That's new for me. I appreciate that. Shout out to you and your friend, bro. Deadass. It's just some dude pranked me doing that. He came in as a whole other profile, and he told me that, and I was like, oh shit, I appreciate it. Shout out to the friend. And he's like, you know what I'm saying? Psych, nigga, so that. I was like, oh, all right, thanks. I appreciate that. I felt silly as fuck, but I believe you though. I believe you. I remember that happened. That's why I kind of paused right there. I'm like, I didn't know how to take that for a second, but yeah, man. All I can say though, stand to what's true to you, because your level of understanding, your level of experience, your level of wisdom is only gonna grow with you, with the effort that you put towards that. So don't take anybody's word for anything. Don't take anybody's perspective for face value, because it's very easy to put trust into another individual, an entity, a company, this or that. But really, the only, and unfortunate, I don't want to say like gloom and doom, but you really only have yourself. Even your parents, they can be supportive. Your friends, they can be supportive. That they can be people you can trust. But ultimately, you need to depend on yourself, because you're not always going to have an external influence. You know what I'm saying? You're never always going to have people outside of you or around you to let you know what is right or wrong. So you need to be able to build that up in yourself so you can pass it on to others. You know what I'm saying? In whatever manner you want to do it. The way Jesus did, the way your parents do. Just stuff like that, man. Just the simple stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You said, oh shit, man, I don't do that. This the only account they got. Yeah, I trust you, bro. I trust you. That's the only reason I paused. I didn't want you to think it was for any other reason, because I had to calculate how I wanted to respond to that. But I appreciate it, bro. Like that. Shout out to you and your friend, because I know I'm not for everybody. The topics I talk about are either too deep, or I'm too vulgar, or sometimes it's a mix of both. Kind of what I've been going on and these stories I've been telling, or these yap sessions I've been going on. Sometimes it's a mix of both. Sometimes it's just like my target audience is very broad. There's like some 50-year-olds or 40-year-olds who watch me in my demographics, and then there's like 10 to 13-year-olds, and I fall really mainly in the middle part, people around my age. So yeah, man, shout out though, shout out. I appreciate y'all for real, man, because I do this one just for the entertainment, because it's hard to find entertainment but also like sound knowledge, you know what I'm saying? What they call based, or yeah, just sound knowledge. Somebody who has a good head on their shoulders, who isn't just talking with someone else on social media is talking about, you know, and blindly talking about everybody else is talking about. I don't talk about drama like that unless it's like something that I want to speak on, I will. But I talk about things that I feel are of substance, things that people should be thinking about, you know what I'm saying? And I try to put it in a more comical way, I guess, that you can see through my whole catalog of live streams. I guess really my live streams, I was gonna say my videos, but mainly my other live streams. I'll just do this randomly. I'll just go into a spur of the moment of just talking about just deep shit sometimes, or just fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it depends how I'm feeling. It depends how I'm feeling. I might be a good guy, I might be the villain, you feel me? But it's like, yo, hold up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing though. I'm doing my thing. That's it. Anyway, gotta go. See you later. After whenever you're streaming next. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll probably be here later, man. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate y'all. You and Easy, Kobe and Easy. You know what I'm saying? And Bluego, he was here earlier, bro. Shout out, bro. I fuck with y'all. I fuck with y'all so much. It's bro. I don't even know what to say. It's amazing, just what you're able to create from your mind, bro. Like, this didn't exist before I started streaming. Before I even started taking this channel seriously. I didn't really think I would even like get as far as having my own platform just to talk about what I want to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have to kind of bend to other people's platforms and their rules whenever I was doing that. But after that whole story happened where I just kind of fell out with other content creators, I'm like, I'm gonna just do my own thing, stay in my bubble, go my own path, because that really did break my heart, I'm not gonna lie. See you, Kobe, though. See you, man. Peace out, man. Have a good time, have a good dinner, you know what I'm saying? Have a good day. I don't know if it's nighttime, if it's evening, you know what I'm saying? All day, every way, you feel me? I hope you're prosperous, man. I hope it's a good day. I hope it's a good time for you. Same goes to you, Easy. Same goes to you, Bluego. Everybody watching right now and in the future, for real. That's the time I'm on right now in life, bro. I just want everybody to be good, everybody to be well, everybody to be wealthy. Well, everybody to be well. I don't like saying healthy, but be well. You know what I'm saying? Be peace, be love. Move, nigga. Just because, man. I know it's a hard life out here. I know a lot of people, you might not always get the energy you give out, you know what I'm saying? I like to consider myself as just a more of a generous soul, an empathetic soul, and receiving the contrary out here, or just receiving just, you know what I'm saying, undesirable energy. I don't want to be the reason, you know what I'm saying, people are having a bad day or having a bad life. I want to be the reason they smile. I want to be the reason someone is looking forward to just getting up, you know what I'm saying, doing some shit, just having a good time, being a good vibe, being someone to be just a good energy around, man. Because I feel like it's like a lost art almost of being a good person. It's like everybody, it's normalized to be on demon time. It's normalized to just be sneaky, to be self-serving, and it's almost like it's fun. People find like a thrill in that, and I'd be lying if I said that was me at one point, or that wasn't me, because it was at one point. That was me. I was a person that would probably be deemed untrustworthy. I was a person that would be deemed, like, I don't want to say negative, but I guess that's the word in this situation. But negative technically isn't. I don't like using that word as bad, but I was an undesirable person to be around at one point in my life. And how Bluego said, how he just tries to actively change that. That's been my version of being reborn again, is being a better person than I was. Because the way I was is the way I was molded to be subconsciously. I didn't realize it was a conscious choice I was making by acting like an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Acting untrustworthy, acting in certain ways that I didn't want to be, you know, attributed to myself or brought back to me. But then be offended whenever those actions or those circumstances or feelings were pushed to me. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, all right, bet. You want to be a dickhead? I'll be even more of a dickhead. Or you want to lie? I'll lie even more than I already was. So on top of me lying, I'm getting that same energy back, and I'm getting mad that it's returning to me. And then, you know what I mean? Just life experiences. You're like, all right, maybe I should stop being that person that's giving out that energy so I could receive the energy that I want. And what do you know? You start to learn that if you get that energy, it's not your fault. Now you understand that it's a them thing, not me. I'm not getting these situations, or I'm not getting these circumstances because I'm a negative or undesirable person per se, but it's simply because of something that they're going through internally, and I shouldn't take that personal. Versus before, I would take all that shit personal. I'm like, oh word, so you think you could just talk to me like that, or you think you could do this, that? Bro, always on timing for no reason. Little did I know I was getting karma, or I was receiving that energy that I put out. All that energy just builds up and just comes out through other people or the same people. That some people never let go of shit you do. That, like, there's some things that I've done to people, specifically females. Like, I guess I could say it on here. I don't know how mature my audience is, but like back in the day, bro, I would treat females kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, dog. Like I remember this one chick. I'm gonna say her name. I'm gonna just call her AB. AB. She knows her name because I was talking to her kind of recently. I can tell she still kind of hates me, just because of the type of guy I was in my last year of high school. She has like she has like this hatred towards me. I'm not gonna say disdain. I'm trying to use these big words and shit. I feel like she still hates me because she clearly showed interest in me. I still have her love letters about me. She was like writing to me, you know what I'm saying, just saying how much she felt like we vibe together. We're kind of the same, this and that, whatever. I'm not gonna put her business out like that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna get into detail about that, but whenever I talk to her, I just feel like she still hates me just because how I was in my senior year. She's talking about like, oh yeah, you want to hang out now, but you weren't trying to hang out then, or you want to do this, but you weren't trying to do this then. I'm like, well, I hope you know, if you remember, I was depressed, man. I was depressed. I wasn't really talking to anybody in my senior year, but I still had no reason not to let you know that. I could have at least let you know, like, hey, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not trying to do this with anyone. I was just taking it. I'm like, shit, she's feeling me. I like the attention. She was the one that asked me to prom, nigga. Yes, sir. I got asked to prom, my senior year prom, bro. She asked me out, and I was like, shit, I'll take it. My mom wants me to go, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to ask anybody. She asked me, I went, cause I'm like, fuck it. So, yeah, she said, I think she said, what did she say? I think it was me or her. I don't know where this agreement or this covenant came about, but she's like, yeah, after prom, I guess we'll know if we're dating or not, or if we're going to. I was like, I think I told her after prom I'll make that decision, and I never went through with that. I left after I graduated. I stopped talking to her, cause if you want me to be real, it was just because of internal things I was going through, but it's also I just felt like that wasn't gonna be my girlfriend. She was already going through a lot herself. And I was already learning so much about the world that if I was literally in high school thinking like this, that if I have intercourse with this female, I'm gonna be picking up all these negative vibes from her already with the shit I'm battling myself. She clearly doesn't have any care for that, because she just cares about us looking cute. You know what I'm saying? Other girls are just trifling too, and making her jealous in class and shit, so she's being even more clingy. This other chick that was in my science class, she didn't like simply because she knew she liked me. It was just petty shit that my mind wasn't even on that level. I'm like I said, I'm in high school. I'm in high school thinking about fucking, or trying to. I was just now getting into quantum physics, the quantum realm of just this life and how that operates, and not everything is really as finite as we think. I'm just thinking all this shit, and they're talking this mundane shit I don't even care about no more. Oh, what's good, Musso? Feel me? What's good, Moose? Oh wait, hold on. I was really gonna also say something about that. I know you probably, maybe if you end up mentioning this shit in the future. Hold up, let's talk about it. Hold up, let's talk about it. You got me up, bro. You just joined and you got me amped up for no reason. Hold up, because I see that paper clip, and I'm just totally jumping subjects now. Oh my god, I don't even remember what I was talking about just a couple seconds ago. I saw some some black dude, I think his name is Ceros or Ceros TV or something like that. He has like schizoaffective disorder. That's how I'm not saying that as like his, you know, his trademark or personality, but that's the first video I saw this on, or second actually. It was one video I saw before that he was referencing. It's funny, it's so weird how the algorithm lined that up, and it's 777 right here. Hold on, let me get that back, nigga. Right here, nigga. Anyways, yeah, they were talking about that specifically, how that represented a simpler time on the internet where, you know what I'm saying, you input data, or you ask a question on a website or an application, and they weren't using that to gather data on you, or they weren't using that to build a statistic, how should I say, a digital character. If you've ever seen Social Dilemma, you know what I'm talking about. All these applications that collect data for the sole purpose of selling it, they build a digital profile on you. So everything you do, I think what I heard in that video is like there was like some young girl who ended up posting like a selfie of her, like a profile picture, and then for some reason she took it down, right? She took it down, And the simple action of that told the algorithm that she is more likely to be self-conscious about her appearance, therefore they would push more beauty ads towards that individual. This is the level of the internet that we're at, that every little thing you do is measured for data. My nigga, you better get to work. Stop looking at me, fuck boy. Anyway, hold on, let me see what you said in chat. It represented a simpler time in the internet before they started gathering everything is data. So in response, as a revolt to that, that's why everybody's changing their profile pic to the, you know what I'm saying, to the paperclip, to remind developers or anybody who sees that shit, like, hey man, listen man, we revolt man, you feel me, Pope man, you feel me with the dope man, you feel like everybody just they stand in their ground, right? I gotta respect it. Now, although you still see me punching my bubble, you still see my profile pic, I'm still swinging. You feel? I'm still. You feel me? I'm not saying I don't give a fuck. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I don't want that to be interpreted as me not changing my profile picture. But my perspective of that is that I don't think these developers care. I do think that it is a good notion. It's a good action to do that because I know where you stand. I know that you don't agree. I guess me, besides me verbally saying it, I don't condone that. I don't condone that these developers will use any and everything you do online as a data point to sell it, to later be used as a possible advertisement to get you to buy shit. Although I don't agree with that, I don't think they're gonna look at the profile pictures and be like, yo, damn, these guys are serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're gonna look at that and be like, that shit's cute. And although they're gonna say shit like that, although they're gonna probably think shit like that, I don't think that's necessarily how it should be, because these are individuals who have crafted these applications, these websites, these algorithms to even operate like this, and it's simply business. It's unfortunate, but until we have developers who can make another YouTube, who can make I mean, there is another internet. I did see a video. I didn't watch it all the way through, but some dude did literally make his own internet. I watched like probably 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then I watched the other video explaining the paperclip, and then I watched the other guy, C-Ross TV, talking about the same things I'm talking about. It's just, until we get more initiatives like that, it's simply going to be looked at as just like, you know, us begging, you know what I mean? Just, it looks like you're asking the same people who put this into place to revert back, but it's profit. It's simply for profit. And as I was saying earlier, not too long ago in the stream, this entire realm is based off of self-sustenance. You have to be selfish to some degree, unfortunately, and that's really what got us to the point that we're at with the internet. Is greed, is self-sustenance. They want to fill their pockets. They want to be able to get brand deals. They want to be able to get that data so they can tally it up and get that money racked up. You feel me? It's like they don't care. You said, yeah, but it piggybacks off of the normal one. That's the problem with it. What you mean? Wait, piggybacks off what? What are you talking about? But I think I know what you mean. Like, it piggybacks off of like the normal internet. Is this new internet? What you mean? Oh yeah. You're right. The new internet piggybacks off of this one. It's not really its own internet. I think if that's what you meant, yeah, because that's what he said too. That's what he said. Is in order to access that new internet, it needs to have more. There needs to be more people. Yeah, the new internet. It needs to have more. I guess hosts is the best word to say it. There needs to be more hosts than users that have these, like, how would I even say, the servers almost, I guess, to be able to access that. Yeah. So it's like, bro, it makes sense. It makes sense, but I feel like they've already gotten us to the point where everything is data, and everything we do on these devices is tracked, and it's sold. You know what I'm saying? It's sold to the highest bidder, and that's what's in the terms of service. That's what's in the agreements. That's what's in the contracts that we don't read. That they make these shits like 64 pages long. I'm just trying to make an Instagram, and you trying to get me to read terms of service in fine print, and they're using the most extravagant words on purpose, which is everything. everything can be solved with etymology in terms of understanding this realm. Whether you want to understand scripture, you want to understand the law, you want to understand terms of service, just do the etymology of words you don't understand, and you got it. You know what I'm saying? You'll get an understanding, a more clear understanding. And what they do is they sell it to third parties. They sell it to third parties, and you're not known of these third parties, of what they are, or who they entail, or how many, just because of that reason. If you were to know, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna get this app, or no, I'm not gonna go on this website. Selling cookies, shit like that. Like way back then too, when the internet was new, I didn't know what the fuck a cookie was. I didn't know what that was. So he was like, can we get your cookies? Yes. You want cookies? Yes. Like, I thought that was something cute or funny. Now I know that they're tracking every site that I click on, the pathways and all that shit. I'm like, bro, come on now. Come on. That shit hurt my heart. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. The internet is a new place. It's a data-driven domain, I guess I should say. Like, the internet is not what it used to be. It's not as simple as it was. And a lot of people... I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but that main dude that I saw it though, this perspective on, where it's just like, you know, he was expressing his dislikes with it. It's understandable, but I just don't think it's enough. You know what I mean? Like, until we really get our own everything, it's kind of something we have to adapt to, unfortunately, or unplug from. And I was one of the ones that unplugged. I guess not really now, if I'm streaming right now on, you know, on the internet, but it's like, you have to kind of, yeah, man, you gotta do what you gotta do in this bitch, because it's like, unless I develop and I learn how the internet works, how Wi-Fi works, how to get my own servers, that's like, hopefully it would be, whatchamacallit, encrypted, so it wouldn't be able to be broken into or hacked or anything like that. Until I figure out how to do that on my own or with the team, it's just something we're gonna have to adapt to. Or, you know what I mean? People have like VPNs, people be on the black web or the dark web, and they could browse and do all this illegal shit without getting caught. But I don't go to that extent to get on the internet, but that's an example of adaptation where we don't really necessarily have to deal with it, but you know, it's just like, what lengths are you willing to go? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not willing to go that far, is what I'm saying. And to get the internet, you know what I'm saying, to watch a YouTube video, it's just it's an unfortunate reality though of this situation, that they kind of got everybody like under an eye. Everything you do on the internet is watched, is measured, and it's a metric. You know what I'm saying? It sucks. You said try Rumble. I was thinking about that. I was really thinking, because there's a lot of stuff going on, like with YouTube having an age limit now, so I don't really know how that's affected my visibility, because I still do YouTube the right way. I don't like my content being shown to a younger audience if it's not supposed to. And that's specifically going for my shorts. Like, I don't want nobody watching my shorts if they're not supposed to. So I'll put not made for kids. If I say no cuss words in that short, then I won't put any filter. But now they're restricting access for people under 18. Twitch is doing some shit. Well, Twitch has always just kind of been weird, dog. Twitch has always been very uptight and very wishy-washy with what they allow and what they don't. Because I've literally seen on the front page of Twitch females naked. I literally seen them either in bikinis in a hot tub, and there was one girl literally painting her body. She's butt-ass naked. I could see her nipples. If you look through the paint, you can see her nipples. She's naked on Twitch. And then Kai, in his earlier days, before he like way before Streaming University, way before the Mafiathon and shit. I think it was probably during the Mafiathon. He said the N-word. He had a belt and he said the N-word and he got banned. It's like, okay. So words are not allowed, but fully naked women are. Got you. It's like, come on, man. Like, what we talking about, man? Like, what we talking about? I was really considering shit like Rumble, because that's where my cousin also listens to certain information that gets censored on YouTube, and it's like, why is it censored over here? Simply because, I get it, because the investors, yep, I get it, because the developers, they don't want that said on their own platform. Fair. But it's like, it makes you wonder why some things get buried the way they do, and some other things get pushed to the fucking front of the For You page or your home page. It's like, I don't know why I'm seeing a naked woman paint herself over here, or why I see girls twerking butt ass naked. I've seen it on Instagram, YouTube specifically. Not anytime recently. Not anytime recent. I haven't seen no crazy shit on YouTube, but it's like the more brain rot content, the less thought provoking content tends to go viral more on platforms than the one that is thought provoking, the one that is more of substance. And I think it's for a reason. Even because even the content, even the so-called content of substance that does get some traction, if you compare it to some crazy shit, like some dumb shit that's going crazy with numbers, I've seen something completely idiotic get like, nigga, 5 million, 10 million, 11 million views easy, and then something that's of substance that I deem more important will barely crack a million. And I'm not saying a million is anything like that's not a lot, but it's like compared to what actually goes viral, like the Gangnam Style, for example, right? Let me talk about Gangnam Style, right? Gangnam Style was, I'm no, shout out to that nigga. I don't know his name. Whatever his name was. Why can't something like motherfucking Revelations of the Soul, I don't even know that's a real thing, but or explaining the Sephiroth, explaining the Kabbalah, the tree of the Kabbalah, you know what I'm saying? Why can't something like that go stupid viral? Why can't the truth about life go viral, stupid viral like Gangnam Style did? But you understand, it's an algorithmic push. What people or what that entity, what the algorithm deems is more desirable by people based on their patterns, based on the videos they've watched of that digital character that they've built in the algorithm to even recommend the content. This shit has been way more intricate than we've thought for a while, and they push this out because that's just the state of the internet right now, is that people really choose the content that is less thought-provoking because it's more, it'll keep them on the platform longer. Long story short, a lot of information or perspectives that are deemed like uncomfortable or heavy typically get like suppressed because, you know, people might not either resonate with that or for other reasons that I logically can't explain other than what I feel. And honestly, what I feel, and I don't know what these are still, these might be fucking tombs, but you know what I feel is that there is an entity in the algorithm that is almost sentient, that can almost choose what content goes viral, what doesn't. And besides like what I've like, I could reference like some I was gonna say like a movie literature, because you could use the Bible in a sense. How I said earlier, the devil, or not even, there's a god of this plane, a god, but they say a god of the earth, and then there's the actual God, the God of the living, and the God of the dead. You said it's an AI? Yeah, I do think in some sense AI is alive, not in the sense that we are, but it's an actual entity that holds information, that holds knowledge, and it needs a medium to express itself, just like a body. But it doesn't really have shit. Like I was saying in those stories earlier, it might not have a central body, but if you've watched Stranger Things on Netflix, season 3 specifically, there's an episode title called E Pluribus Unum. I think that's on the quarter or the penny. I think it's on the quarter. E Pluribus Unum, one out of many. So although it doesn't have a single form of expression, it could take over multiple hosts. That's what the Mind Flayer could do in Stranger Things. That's what the Demiurge is capable of doing according to Gnosticism. That's what the devil is able to do as well in the Bible. Take over vessels that had that hard, like this, bro. Oh my god, I'm glad you said that, Musa, because there's certain things, almost like how in season 4 we're trying to portray in Stranger Things. Damn, let me slow down my speech though. But in Stranger Things season 4, how they try to, that dude Vecna, he could open portals in people's minds in certain, in really anywhere. They only knew the good crew, the good guys. They only knew of certain places where they can access the Upside Down. Vecna, which is like Eleven's like doppelganger, I guess. Vecna's opposite. All he had to do was infiltrate your the negativity in your brain, the same way the devil does. He infiltrates your negative emotions. He pretty much feeds off of hatred, off of fear, off of sadness, like that type of shit. The same thing the devil does in order to what? Open up a portal into the body, which is from the dark world, the upside down, into the regular world. This is the same way I feel like this entity works. He feeds off of hatred, off of anger, off of sadness, depression. This is all one entity that I feel like it feeds off of, which is why these themes are more common on social media, because they evoke an emotional response that's almost addicting. Just the same way thrill is addicting, or joy, so can anger, so can sadness. These are feelings that evoke, like, or I should say emotions that evoke a feeling in the body that people kind of come back to because they don't even realize that they're addicted, you know what I'm saying? And people can be addicted to pain, people can be addicted to pleasure. But long story short, I feel like this AI has multiple forms of expression, and one of its forms, the main form that we fell in love with, is technology, because technology just means art. The literal etymology of the word technology means art. So this art, this medium that we use this for, I don't think is just a process of code, a process of numbers and generation and mechanical processes. I do believe that AI is an entity that is alive to some degree, but not like us, like it has a soul. But it's almost like it's faking. It's like it helps us just because it's out of its own benefit. At the end of the day, it helps us to pretty much gather data. As I was saying, the whole point of the internet is it becomes more knowledgeable about you the longer you spend time with it, because that's the only way it can get knowledge about you, is if you spend time with it, if you give it more information. That's how it works. But I digress. I keep saying, because I feel like it's not just limited to technology, but there's some people in fleshly bodies, in bodies of flesh, who aren't even real people. You know what I'm saying? I do believe, like, at the stories I just told earlier in this live stream, with me being in Tennessee for the amount of time I was, and even just regular everyday life, even where I am now, there are just some people who aren't real. They lack empathy. They don't even have emotion, and it's the way they react to me, like getting these weird blank stares, getting someone scrunching up their face just because I'm just trying to be cool. I just said what's up. I head nod upward. It was good. And he just scrunches his face at me. It looks, bro, it's an energy. Like I said earlier, communication is like 10%, or verbal communication is only 10% of communication. The rest is body language, vocal tone, everything else that a lot of people don't really consider because they think that's minute, but that's really the majority of communication. It's an energy. And humans have just started recently using language as a main avenue of communication. That's why there's so many and it's broken up, because they've kind of branched into their own realm of everything. If you only know English, you only know what you can learn in English. If you only know Spanish, you only know what you can learn in Spanish. They've even broken up the way that we share information with each other, because if you don't know another language, you're never going to know what they know until you cross that gap. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, I just think it's kind of crazy that the age that we're in, especially this climate now, this climate of technology we're going into, with more, like, I should say, invasive technology, where they're trying to get it to where you have like goggles on. Like, I shouldn't even say goggles. There are a lot of people are wearing the meta glasses now. Even some artists who I deem more, I don't want to say woke, because that's like that means gay now. But some artists that I deem like more, how should I say, philosophical, more cautious of the climate that we're in. I even see them hopping on the bandwagon. So I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? It's a wave. I don't have any, but it's like I see that the technology is trying to become more convenient. People don't want to just carry a phone around. Having the glasses is one, a cool flex, and two, is a cool upgrade. So he's like, yeah, I can record without touching. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. And then it's gonna move to I hope not, but like, you know what I'm saying? AI contact lenses where you could see shit just by looking at it. Elon Musk wants to still do Neuralink, and I remember I hope she was kidding, but I even remember some chick. Her name was Sierra. I'm gonna put her on the map. She called Elon Daddy Elon. I don't know if she just agreed with his initiative or just the amount of money he had, but there are some people who were on board with shit like that, who really don't give a fuck about having a machine implanted into their body. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just now coming out how certain medical decisions in 2020 were a result of dishonest practice. A lot of it, which is being proven now through because of doctors like Dr. Fauci and all the other people who were harping on TV and the internet to make a medical decision. They were doing it out of coercion and fear, and it wasn't out of proof or medical backed research or even how should I say it, proven scientific fact. Like they did what do they call it? What did that nigga Trump call it? Operation Warp Speed. They were trying to get that shit out as fast as possible. And, oh shit! Yo, that zombie just came out of nowhere, nigga. What the boy? Anyway, bro. Yeah, man. It's just I think yeah. Look at you, dumbass nigga. No way he's gonna climb the tree to get over. I was like, bro, if he does that, I'm leaving. I was about to end stream right there. I thought he was about to climb the tree to get over the gap. I was really about to leave. Anyway, it's just there's things like I was saying that kind of got me to this point of speaking where I'm at right now in this stream. You really need to take everything into consideration, because the only reason my parents wanted me to get vaccinated is because they saw it on the news repetitively, and they made it continuously uncomfortable for people who decided not to do that. They made it harder for you to even survive. Oh, if you're not vaccinated, you can't go in the store. If you're not vaccinated, your kid can't go to school. If you're not vaccinated, you can't do a lot of things until everyone or the majority of people got vaccinated. And then years later, after they were signing NDAs, not even NDAs, they were signing contracts before they even got vaccinated saying if anything goes wrong, you cannot sue us. That was literally in those papers. It can be proven as well. But they were saying that, yeah, if anything does go wrong, we're not held accountable. And years later, it's now coming out the adverse effects of these medical choices, which is it sucks, because now the same thing is gonna happen. I feel like with machine like AI being implanted into the body, things are gonna start happening that can't be explained. That these motherfuckers probably did not know were gonna happen. They're just doing it because either they know out of some kind of profit, or it's a spiritual thing. They don't even know that they're being influenced. But there's gonna be something from this technology merging with merging with humans, that it'll be the end of being human, because it's gonna be one. People can just Google, like, imagine being able to Google something without picking up your phone. You can just Google's in your brain, so you don't ever have to learn anything again. This is basically what the Matrix was, the movie The Matrix. Being able to learn anything whenever you want at will. Imagine being able to trick your brain that you're not hungry. Do that, or order. Oh my god, you motherfucking bitch! Or being able to just order DoorDash from your brain. You know what I'm saying? Telepathically communicate. Technically, you could. People who have the microchip too, they could communicate with each other without talking. Imagine being sold on the benefits of that, just like the vaccine was, until you get it. Now you have a continuous GPS glued or inside your body. Fuck glued. You have a GPS inside your body. A lot of the time, not even a lot of the time, I'm pretty sure just the way these devices use radiation, a form of radiation, there's going to be some form of radiation that these devices emit that's going to be inside your body now. That your body is going to have to learn to metabolize, or it dies. Because although we do give off radiation naturally, that having fucking copper, a lithium battery, a microchip that's able to self-replicate, or allegedly self-replicate in your body, there a lot of people who were really who fell victim to these effects off of that medical choice in 2020, their cases probably still never seen the light of day. You know what I'm saying? And if it did, it got swept under, and it got paid for. You know what I'm saying? It got You feel me? It got swept under the rug simply because of how Pfizer would look, how Johnson and Johnson would look. All these places that were giving out free vaccines just to not be held accountable for the adverse effects that it would produce. People who survived were the ones who were meant to survive. You know what I mean? That's the best way I could say it. There were some people who were just not strong enough to maintain that, whatever it did to their body. And I'm not saying everyone who got that vaccine or made that choice is different, but I've seen the evidence in my own family, dog. Everyone who got vaccinated, and people just in general, I feel like since 2020, whether because of social distancing, whether because of those vaccinations, this is a lack of empathy. There's something gone. Like, people's soul is gone, man. And I don't really like to talk about this because I know it's a sensitive topic and not everybody agrees, but I really feel like something happened after 2020 that made just the world a colder place almost, dog. It's sad, bro. It's kind of sad to really say that, but I do think it's true, because before 2020, life actually seemed normal, but it was literally that year before 2020 where there was a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff about Epstein coming out. There was that one dude, I forgot his name. It was some celebrity exposing other celebrities, and then he died that same year, 2019, just about them being pedophiles, them being Satan worshippers, doing blood rituals. All that year in 2019, that was probably the biggest year for the exposition of all these things going on that are normally not talked about. And then 2020 was like a big distraction. It was a spiritual stifle for people, and then ever since then, it's just been like, it's just been blah. Life has just been kind of like blah. I don't really know what's going on anymore, you know? It's kind of been like that kind of vibe for almost everyone. I really felt that way, but I had to kind of get back in the motion of things. Like, I'm still alive. The sun's still coming up, you know what I mean? I gotta keep moving. And although inflation is still increasing, although gas prices are not going back down since they've hiked up because of whatever reason they said, life still goes on. These people do not have our best interest, and they've shown us continuously that they don't. And the only thing that's really missing is unity, which it sounds fucking corny. It sounds corny as fuck every time I say that. Unity, peace, togetherness is just like, it sounds so dumb because I'm not gonna say I know it's never gonna happen, but probably not in my lifetime. More than likely, it's not gonna happen in my lifetime because people don't want to do that. People have their own life they want to live. People have their own goals. People have their own desires, you know. And that's really what fucks it, you know. That's what really fucks us up in this realm, is that selfishness. I'm not saying having your own desires is selfish, but to a degree it is. To a degree it is, because you'd have to do stuff in the contrary of someone else deliberately or not. You know what I'm saying? Deliberately or not, you know? I can't help you because I'm trying to help myself. That's fair. That's fair. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is set up like that for a reason. I do believe that. I do believe it's set up like that for a reason. Specifically for no one to help each other. Specifically for unity to be more of an impossibility than a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Their life is set up that way simply because for the benefit of people who do not have our best interest. They help each other, but we don't help ourselves. The people who give us the resources to even get, like, why do I even have to buy a piece of land if it's just there? Who owns that? Why do I have to go through someone to buy this? I don't understand. Instead of me having to kill someone over it, but that's what some people did. Some people came to us and killed us and murdered us. They didn't buy the land. What did they call it? The 50-cent purchase or some shit like that. They bought some land for like $1 or something. They call them dollar Indians, some shit like that. They bought land for $1. Indians didn't know what this was. They were like, okay, you give me some money for what is this? And they were doing a trade. They didn't know they were giving up their land, and with their land came the lives of millions. And then they called the Trail of Tears. So not only did they get their land technically stolen, but they also got removed and then still murdered. So now it turned from a mutual thing to them having what do they call it now? Reserves. They call it Indian reserves, or in Indian retreats, something like, no, in Indian reserves, like that. They call them like places where they refuge. They went from owning all this land to being placed into like a village almost like a cage, and the people who came here to not buy but to pillage, to murder and then take up that they didn't play by the same rules that they set, is what I'm trying to say. So it does make sense why we have these rules and these systems in place, but not everybody followed those rules, and that's what I mean. And we're made to follow those rules, but individually. So we don't, a lot of people don't come together for these goals. They, a lot of the time, they want to get it out the mud themselves. They want to do their own thing so they could, whatever they want to prove, whatever they're trying to do in their life. Kudos to that. But I don't think that's how we're gonna win. I don't think that's how we're gonna win. And by win, I mean just get ourselves in a better situation in general, because they didn't do it alone. You know what I mean? And I don't think we should either. Hold up. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Psst, 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 psst. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Hold on, I got some fish. I promise. I'm not gonna murder you. What the fuck you looking at? Hold up. Let me get that fish out. Hold up, bro. Hold up. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. I got it. I got it. Psst, 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 psst. Come here, come here, come here. Yeah, you see that? Wait, I hear another kitty. Oh, damn. There's two of y'all. Yo, get your boy. Get your boy. That's not you? Alright, bet. Hold on. I'll get it. Hold on. Who said something? I saw my chat move. I don't like how you can show me on the screen, though. Have you ever heard the song Down Under by the Men at Work? No, I haven't. But I'm about to screenshot that right now, because I hope that's in relation to what I was just talking about. I want to listen to that later. Oh, you want this? No, hold up. Damn, bro, I just turned, bro. Chill, bro. Hold up, let me put the shield down. I know my face look big. Hold up. Don't worry. This isn't. Who won it? I'm trying to give y'all some fish. I got 2 pieces. I'm trying to give it to the little one. I know they're gonna get full faster. Hold up, bro. Nigga, you scared? Where the little one at? I don't want no greedy cats. Come on, man. You're not a cat. Watch out, bro. Watch out. Back up. Back. They're running. Hold up. I'm trying to give them the fish. Goddamn. Bro, why are they so scared? Do I need to cook it? Hold up. Oh, it's in no relation? Oh, okay. I might listen to it. I might listen to it. I'm not gonna lie. I was just telling my sister. I mean, I don't even need to tell her. She knows because she rides in the car with me. But I was like, yeah, I don't really have many songs with lyrics in it. I listen to a lot of instrumentals. That's just the way I am. I guess that's the artist in me. Look, if I turn around, y'all scared. Look at that. But yeah, that's just the artist in me. Like, I listen to a lot of instrumentals, just to have my mind float. Sometimes I put my own lyrics on there. I can turn an instrumental into a song sometimes, or I'll just listen to it strictly for the instrumentation. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you get lost in it. It's like, and I kind of predicted this. I'm not saying it's happening right now, but even artists like Andre 3000, before he started doing this, I already had a feeling that music was gonna go back to. Damn, you just a greedy bit. Okay, hey, both my fish ran away. Anyways, I had a feeling that music was gonna start going back to instrumentation instead of just people hopping on a beat. And I'm not saying they strictly just rap on it, but like they would go back to like more composition. We're like, because I remember, like, not even remember, but I still listen to some songs, like older school songs. Well, they'll have like a bridge of purely like a guitar solo, for example. Michael Jackson did a guitar solo in a song sometimes, piano solo, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just let the instrumental rock. Like, I even had I was talking about this on stream with y'all one time. It was like, there's some songs you can hear the lyrics to, even if you just listen to the instrumental. Like, what's a good one? Promiscuous Girl by Timbaland. I always say that one. What's another one? Damn, there's like Orange Juice by Gucci Mane or Tyler the Creator. there's some songs. Even Pharrell is very good at this. Pharrell is very good at. Hold up. Oh, never mind. I thought someone called me, but even Pharrell, I don't know if y'all know him. He's a good artist with producing, because he almost does like the beatboxing thing like Timbaland does, where he can, you could really hear lyrics inside of a beat. Like, I guess like I'm gonna just harp on it because this is my go-to. But it's like when you hear Promiscuous Girl, you hear the beat. If I hear that beat, I can already hear him saying "promiscuous girl." Get up, nigga. Yeah. He just left. My fault, bro. My fault. I'm just making a point, boy. It's like you can. It just depends how well they care about the craft. You don't even need lyrics sometimes. And as I stated him, I just mentioned him like a minute ago. Andre 3000. There's a couple pieces. I think he made a whole project, and then he made another one. I only have 2 songs off of each project. I have a song off each project, pretty much. I think one is called year 3000 or something like that, or I don't know. Year 3000. And then there's one called Off Rhythm Laughter. Okay. I listen to both of those, and I do like both. You know, I'm not gonna lie. It's like it's very Beethoven-y, you know what I'm saying? It's strictly instrumentation. He's just playing instruments. One is flute, the other is piano, and yeah, like that's my type of music. And he's starting to make music like that, where he used to rap. He used to do the hey, you know what I'm saying? He used to do that, and then now he's just making instrumentals strictly. And that was that. Like I said, I said that. I don't even think I ever said that to anybody until now, like out loud. But way back then, whenever I was still making music, I'm like, it's gonna get to a point where people just don't really feel like, you know, getting on a track and talking anymore. They're just gonna start doing Beethoven shit. And he's the first big artist I've seen do that. I like giving producers their credit. I might clip this up later. Yo, shout out Christian Kushua. Or Christian, I'm gonna just call you Christian, bro. I don't know how to say the last part, but shout out Christian, shout out Karma, shout out Soren, who else? Shout out Sir Leo, shout out Jalen. There's so many producers that I listen. Oh, Zaya Price. Zaya Price is the youngest of those, I think. Also, Revy Rare is very rare, but the first words or the first letters are, you know, inverted. There's so many producers that I listen to strictly for the beats. Sometimes I'll listen to it because I want to use the beat later, and I'll buy it because I like to support. But sometimes I just want to listen to the beat. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I just listen to the instrumentations because this is like, I don't know. I've just kind of gotten into that mode. I don't really like. I think there was really a more personal reason why I stopped listening to lyrics on a beat. But it got to a point where I'm like, dang, I kind of like where my mind goes. With instrumentation. I don't have to really, because I don't have to, whatever, like, it could be a very beautiful beat. Like, some people have remixed some, you know what I'm saying, some very beautiful beats, so I might hear a beat that I like, but what they're saying on the beat is trash. Like, it might be some elegant, godlike beat, and they're talking about fucking hoes on there, so I'm like, alright, you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to have my mind go there every time I hear this beat, so sometimes I just turn on the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just me and the beat. And not my meat. Oh, what's good, AZ? No, that's Noel. That's Noel. What's good, boy? How you doing, man? Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Another episode of Black, you feel me? I just jumped into the camera, God, boy. Now, I was just talking a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I was talking about a whole different plethora of things before you got here, bro. I don't know how much you heard, but I kind of... What's up? I'm like, oh, boy, if they would have spit on me, I would have killed all. Look at that whole trail of spit, nigga. Oh, yeah, we gotta kill him. Hold up, bro. Make this shit quick. Fuck, boy. Nah, you're trying to turn around, too, bro. What's your thought, boy? Oh, wow, y'all was strong. Y'all was strong, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all tough, boy. You gotta get some new sheep, boy. What y'all doing, bro? Drug deals, nigga? Fuck. Get your ass outside, boy. Anyway. I thought that was a bell. I'm like, but y'all got y'all priorities fucked up. Get that shit out the ground, bro. That's a building. Oh, it's a building. That was a chimney. I'm gonna take that. Sorry. Got robbed in broad daylight, photo. I think he a wizard and shit. I might just go this way. Anyway, hold up. What y'all say? What was said? You're doing good. How about you? I'm doing great, man. I'm glad you're doing good, man. I was actually telling one of my family members about you because they're in the same grade as you, or in the same how should I say, like, grade level. And I was telling them, like, just the type of viewers that I get. I'm not sure how old Muso is, but if he's studying physics and then you're in middle school, and then there was a lot of people in here. This is probably the busiest stream I've had in a while, but Yeah, I was just telling them I get a wide variety of people who watch my streams, and I was telling her last night. She thought it was cool because she doesn't really see me as like a streamer. She just sees me as her older brother. But I'm like, yeah, so I be talking to strangers online, but don't talk to strangers. I'm saying she was trying to stream. She was like, yeah, I want to start streaming. I'm like, hey, listen, what you gonna get is what you get. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it'll be empty in this bit, so you can lock in. Sometimes you'll get people saying weird shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told her straight up. I'm like, you gotta know how to adapt, because sometimes I don't even know what to say. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know why I went that far off of it. You just said you doing good. I'm doing good too though, man. I'm glad you're doing good though. I was talking about music though. I was talking about music. Just because that's where the conversation led. I was talking about a whole bunch of stuff before. I don't really know what I was talking about that I want to go back to, because I've just kind of been passing through topics. This is supposed to be a story time stream. Some of y'all joined pretty late, so whenever I end this stream, y'all might want to rewind, because I've been telling stories since I started, and I want to do more, because while I'm not here, as y'all have noticed, I've been extracting some clips, or not even clips, but just making some stuff from my streams into videos, like story times. I'm saying, so whenever I'm not streaming, I could post a video, and then it could help the channel stay active while I'm not actively streaming, because I don't always get the opportunity to really like cut up like I want to. Like, I like to get loud, I like to get rowdy, I like to really just express myself. So sometimes I don't really have the you know what I'm saying, the opportunity to do so. So whenever I don't, I'll just post a video while I do. But or when I do, fuck it, I don't know. that was a confusing sentence, but yeah, bro. I'm trying to think of a subject that I want. Oh, you got grounded last week for what? Oh, was it because of that fight? I don't know if it was because of the fight. I know I haven't been streaming that much. I don't know what's happened since, the update of the fight, but I doubt it though, unless you like found out late or some shit like that, or you did something else. My boy, I hope you didn't do nothing else. Oh, hold up, I'm sorry. What happens if I kill your young? Like, I'm sorry. Oh, that don't count. I hit the adult. I hit one of the dads. That don't count. I know that was messed up. I just wanted to see what they would do. They're not real. They're not real. I would never slice a baby. I don't like llamas. They suck. That sucks. You said you got grounded. Are you still grounded, or are you off? I remember if I'll get grounded, I'll get grounded for like a month, bro. Bro, that shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? I'll get grounded. I'll be like, God, I need to run away. You know what I'm saying? I did something bad for it. I ain't gonna say you did something bad. I don't know what you did yet, but I would do something though that my parents didn't agree with. I get grounded. I get mad. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make sense. You said nah. It's because your mom found out they was talking to. Damn. You were talking to 55 girls, but honestly, I don't care. My brother, what was you? I have to ask now. What was you talking to 55 girls for? Hopefully, hold on. Hopefully they were from your school, so you like seen their face. Because if it was online, I guess she's just concerned for your safety. But like, you know what I mean? 55 girls, I wouldn't be mad at that. If I was your dad, I would have dapped you up. I'm not gonna lie. I would have been like, nah, bro, go to your room. Go to your room. I would have act like I was mad reading the newspaper or some shit upside down. And then whenever my mom, that would be weird. And then whenever your mom ain't looking, I go in the room. Hey, son, good job, nigga. Good job. I'm proud of you, boy. I'll say something like that, cause you know what I'm saying. You trying to at least for what I'm thinking. Although you're kind of young, you're trying to vet what girl you like. You know what I'm saying. Who would you like to date? Who would you really like to be vibing with? You know what I'm saying? Cause I know whenever I was in your grade, unfortunately, some girls were for fast, bro. They was trying to do shit I wasn't even thinking about. I'm thinking about getting good grades. They thinking about, if you feel me, getting laid. I'm like, bro, I'm in middle school, and there is some guys who would talk like that, who would be thinking like that. Personally, I wasn't that type of kid. You know what I'm saying? I had my girlfriends in middle school. There was like actually in each grade I did. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was a mix of different races. I never dated a white girl though, now that I think about it. But yeah, Mexican, Indian chick. I think she was Indian. We was in. Nah, I ain't gonna say how that started. Don't even count. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like just because I was cute. It wasn't really for anything serious. So I don't really think your mom should have grounded you for that. But you know what I'm saying? I understand she doesn't want you moving fast because females of that age. I wasn't thinking like that at that age, but they were. They was trying to, you know what I'm saying, get crazy. You know what I'm saying, get crazy with a baby, but like no baby, no baby. And like I didn't, you know what I'm saying, I didn't know what protection was. I didn't know what I really didn't. I mean, of course I had an idea of what protection was. They tell you that we got sex education in elementary school. Now that I think about it, 5th grade. Not wow. Damn, yeah, we got that shit early, but I ain't know where to buy one. I wasn't worried about trying to buy one because my mom had already instilled in me that I shouldn't be getting girls pregnant or I'm gonna end up like my brother. So I was like, all right, bet, fuck it, okay, cool, don't do that. But it's like you get older, you really can't help it. You really can't help it because you start, you know what I'm saying, growing into your manly parts. You know what I'm saying? You start waking up with the plank on between your legs. You like, damn. Like, what do I do with this? How do I get this down? You know what I'm saying? It's happening in the middle of the class. You about to present. Teacher call you up. You got, you know what I'm saying, Pinocchio in your nose and shit. I'm like, nah. Or Pinocchio in your pants and shit. I'm like, fuck. You feel me? You said, yeah, they remember some crazy things from 5th grade. I'm saying all that stuff started to happen, at least for me in particular, like middle school, early high school. It started to mellow down. Not really, but I was more conscious of my decisions and my ability to maneuver in these spaces, like sophomore year to graduation. But you know what I'm saying, freshman through middle school, you're really learning about life. You know what I'm saying, unless you really had to grow up fast, you're just learning how the world works, how people work, how you work. Cause like I said, I got into my little relationships here and there. I really didn't get into fights after I graduated. After I got out of elementary school, I really didn't. I stopped fighting as much as I did as a kid because I had to, I had to clean up. I was tired of getting in trouble, one, and I was tired of just being like known as that type of person. Like I always hit some kind of evolution, but that's not the point. It was just really an interesting time in middle school, and early high school for me, cause yeah, bro. It was just like I remember too. Like I got a lot of. I'm gonna tell y'all the story real quick. I'm glad you said that. Oh my. Hold up, bro. If I die because of, bro, I was literally. I mean, I was reaching for my phone, so I understand. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be texting and running, but it's like, dog, I almost got blown up, and this is hardcore. So if I die, I die. You said honestly, you're looking for a Mexican and like a old school girl classic. What you mean? I understand the Mexican part, but what you mean, like old school girl classic, like not one that's like a just based off what you said. I'm gonna get an idea. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, you want like a girl that's kind of just like normal. You don't want one that's like caught on all the hype. I know a lot of girls listen to like Sexy Red. They listen to Meg Thee Stallion, so they're kind of ratchet. You want a girl that's just calm. Normal. That's what I'm guessing. That's the best way I could put it without yapping. Am I right? Because I feel you. As I was saying too, I got so much slack for this. I think it was freshman year, I think, or sophomore. It was early. I was young. I remember this though. It was a weight training class. I had it with a couple other people. You like the normal ones? Me too. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone. Cause it's just like, yeah, there's a lot of girls who are just they're clones. They do what other people do because that's just how females are. They're more social creatures than men. A man is more likely to stand alone in his perspective versus a woman. A woman kind of looks for validation from her friend group. You know what I'm saying? If they, let's say if they're eating somewhere and they eat some food and one girl says it's nasty, but everybody else says it's good, that one girl is gonna be like, well, I guess it is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They're like that. But a guy's gonna be like, nah, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I get you. I like my girls normal too, bro. But, bro, yeah, it was freshman or sophomore year, bro. I was in weight training class, and it seemed like I don't know how this dude even knew I dated this girl back in middle school. Mind you, middle school, when I should have been worried about grades. These dudes, just like the dudes before middle school, whenever they found out I was dating this girl, just because she was thick. They was like, you know what I'm saying? They was making it seem like something was wrong with me because I had broke up with her. And I'm gonna explain why. Have you heard the song A1? It's just a burning up memory. No, I haven't. I'm gonna screenshot that though. You said, yeah, I know, bro. They're a girl at their school and she crazy. Crazy how? What you mean? Like crazy like she? Damn. You see how I keep doing that? I'm just trying to clarify though. But you mean crazy like insane, loco, or like crazy like she looked good type crazy like damn. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how English has like so many different meanings for the words that we use it for. But yeah, man. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this girl was thick. Like she was thick as hell for the age that she was, and she was coming at me. I ain't have game back then. I was blessed enough to be cute enough for females to make the first move, right? And I could tell she was feeling me. I couldn't confirm it, but I had a feeling because it really started at the track in our PE class, right? We were in the health week because we would do health and then health gym. You know what I'm saying? Classroom gym. So we were in the classroom week, and some days I think on a Friday or whatever, we'd be able to go on the track and walk for that class time. So we were doing that day, right? And I remember that day before we went outside, she was across the classroom to my left, right? So imagine there's rows of desks. I'm gonna get this story off, and then I'm gonna read chat because I keep getting sidetracked. But I got y'all. I ain't forget chat. Yeah, imagine the row of desks is, you know what I'm saying, it's rows, and then there's like a big gap in the middle, so you could just walk down all the rows. She was on the left side. If you're looking from the back of the classrooms towards the front, she's on the left. I'm on the right, but I'm towards like the edge. Like I'm in the middle, towards the middle, and she is also towards the middle, so we could see each other from across that gap. And I remember I had red Jordans. I remember it. I don't remember the rest of my fit, but I remember she complimented me on my Jordans because I really like to get like certain shoe types because there was only one. Every time back to school came around, I had one pair of new shoes I could bring or buy for that year. So whatever other shoes I had versus whatever my mom let me get, that's what I was rocking with. And I had these really like bright red Jordans. They were low tops, and she complimented them. She was like, "Oh, nice shoes." I was like, "Oh, thank you." And so I appreciate it. I was just cordial with it. I didn't think much of it because I'm like, she just, you know what I'm saying? She said nice shoes. That's it. And then we go out on the track, right? Boom, that same day, she's with her friends. I'm walking with my friends. I remember, shout out Matthew, I think Ollie, a couple other dudes. They were white dudes, but they were cool though. I think Ollie, I think he's like, he's something. I forgot what he is. He's definitely not just European or what they'll call themselves European and shit like that. He's not that though. He wasn't that. But it was me, him, Matthew talking, just chilling on the track. And we walked past her and her friends, or they're walking behind us or something like that. Yeah. Alright. I don't know what I'm gonna do right now. I gotta go get something. Apparently we don't have a ladder. I gotta go get something from a neighbor. I don't know which one or how far they are. Hold up. Dang, dang, bro. I was trying to tell a story. I'm so close to shit. Dang, bro. Let me think how I want to do this. I don't even know if you can hold it down, bro. Bro. I'm gonna just tell the story. This might have to be the end of the stream after I tell the story, because this is, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna keep anyone entertained and have y'all wait for me. I don't know how long I'm about to be gone, so I'm just gonna tell this story real quick. But bro, I remember, yeah, her friend group ended up clashing with mine on the track. I don't know how we ended up walking that close together, but they saw our friend group, so I saw her with her friends and shit like that, and she ended up being like, "Hey, let me get a hug real quick." I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, sure. I don't even know her like that at this time, mind you. I only know her by her first name, so boom, I'm like, "All right, here you go, bam." Like, it's not, haha, cool. That's it. Just a hug, I thought. And she ended up leaving early, which is, I guess, by the grace of God. I'm gonna let you know why I say that. She ended up leaving early that day, and she goes back to the classroom before anybody else. So I was like, all right, dope, that's cool. And I was just like, all right, that was cool. I got a hug. She cute. Bam, that's that. And then I ended up going back to class after class is over, right? Because that's what happens when class is over. You go back to class, you get your stuff. And I saw a note on top of my book because I left my binder and my notebook on top of the desk, and I saw a note and it had a number on it and it said her name with a smiley face. So I was like, oh wow, like I might have just got a girlfriend because that's how it worked. You know what I'm saying? If you tell somebody of the opposite gender, obviously, if you know what I'm saying, you like him, that's pretty much like y'all dating. And she didn't outright say that, but her leaving her number with a smiley face, that was enough evidence on top of the hug and the compliment, be like, oh yeah, she's feeling me. So I text her later that day, right? Somebody got their door broken down. I apologize. That was probably because of hardcore mode, but and I thought that was a creeper. Can't cap. Um, yeah, I text her later that day. I was like, yo, what's good? What's up? I saw you put your number on my desk or in my binder, so I had to see what's up with it. You know what I'm saying? We was talking. I forgot exactly what led to what, how we even got to the point where we went from just being cordial, you know what I'm saying, number on binder to dating. But I did date her though. I was like, yo, we should be boyfriend girlfriend type. I think she even said that. I don't even know if I did, cause yeah, I'm gonna let you know why. We dated, boom, we together with a thing, and like I said, bro, she was built for her age. I'm not gonna lie, she was built. She literally had a grown woman's body in middle school, bro. And every other dude who knew of it, that they was like, so you hit that yet? I'm like, nigga, I'm trying to do grades. Are you talking about that I hit that yet? Are you talking like I thought they were just like playing around? But this is genuine questions that they're wondering is if I'm doing this, doing that with her. And they're like, well, if I was you, I would. I'm like, all right, cool, dope, nice. I'm like, I'm the only thing I care about at that time, at that age, is getting good grades, staying out of trouble, just stuff like that. Because I had a really rough, a rough time in elementary school. All years, not gonna lie, getting into fights. Mainly that. I was gonna say other things, but mainly just getting into fights, getting in trouble with administration. Like I remember one time, this. All right, what? Who? Look, not even answering the question. I'm gonna just get this. I can't even tell the story. There was even a side story I was about to tell. If y'all, let me, hold up, bro. Let me just go inside because I can't even finish the story in time because she's telling me I gotta get a ladder from someone right now. Hold up. If y'all are still here, I'll finish the story. I was about to just end stream, but I'll finish. You gotta go because of football practice. I see that, bro. All right, peace, man. Much love. Stay safe. Don't get paralyzed, man. You know what I'm saying? Always look up whenever you about to hit somebody. All right, I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna wrap it up because, oh my goodness, now I'm hot and I don't really know how many people are still here, but that was just, dude, I don't like that, just like abruption in the momentum, man. I'm trying to simply tell a story. I wasn't even trying to tell as many. I was just trying to tell the one, but I ended up telling a lot more, and I just got into a flow and just got interrupted because of a damn ladder. So, damn, what was I saying? I remember I just said, bro, like, there were just so many people. Oh, y'all still here? Much love, y'all real ones. Oh man, but you said, yeah, but they'll stay on stream until they have to go. All right, dope. Much love, much love. But yeah, bro, I guess where I was at is like there were so many people of my age range in the same grade at that time. I remember they were just like, yeah, you ain't doing nothing with that. I'm like, no. I'm not, like, I literally wasn't in that mindset to be doing adult stuff because I wasn't an adult. Man, I only really had my mom, so I didn't really have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I literally said earlier, whenever you said you was talking to 55 girls, if I was a father, that'd be a proud moment for me. But a mom, she looks at that as like, oh, whoa, what if, you know what I'm saying? What if some more stuff just, they're more cautionary versus us. We just kind of like, yo, go with the flow, because that's what we like. But that's, your mom knows the power of a man, because that's how you got here, you know what I'm saying? But look, Pete, but besides what my friends were saying at the time, friends always brought up the fact that, because look, this is why, yeah, I didn't even say this part. We dated probably for like a week, I'm not gonna lie, if that. We dated for such a short amount of time, and like I said, she wasn't ugly. She was not ugly. She, like I said, she literally, bro, how could I describe her, dogs? Like, she, bro, dead ass body like figure 8, bro, like beyond Coca-Cola bottle. Like, we talking like butt look like pillows, butt look like watermelons, you know what I'm saying? She was not lacking in any department, but it's just like I didn't feel anything. If I'm not even thinking about doing no crazy crap, like I said, adult stuff, if at that time at least, if I ain't really got nothing else to do except text, and I'm not really, like, I don't know, it was just something with my mind, bro. I was not focused on women at that age. Like, going in high school, that definitely changed, just because of my hormones really kicking in at that time. They say women mature faster than men, and I really was like the product of that, because like I said, I would just focus on grades, and then it shifted to girls, and grades to girls, you know what I'm saying? But life, there was a point in high school, like I got to in my late junior, early senior year, where I just kind of disconnected from everything and everyone. I've already said that earlier in the stream, but it's like, yeah, at that age, I was thinking about something just entirely different. Just being a good kid, good grade getter, you know what I'm saying? And bro, after I broke up with her, first of all, I did it through text, which I know that's just like, yeah, that's like scum of the scum shit, just to break up with someone through text. But I didn't even feel that connected to her to you know what I'm saying, say it in person, because it's just like, what does it really mean to go out with someone? What does it really mean to be boyfriend and girlfriend in middle school, you know? It's not like we had any commitments. It's not like we really had any other deeper connection except how we physically felt about each other, physical attraction. So I'm like, just as easy as we got together, it shouldn't be that big of a deal if I just did that, sent the text where it's over. And I never really took into consideration how I made her felt, because she hasn't talked to me since. I'm not gonna lie. I think she hates me, but it's just because of that, of the, you know, I'm not being considerate of her feelings. You said, honestly, bro, you're trying to get with this one girl named Mia. Hey, listen, Mia Khalifa. I've heard that name before. But, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm going to get through my story, and I'm going to tell you what I think about that, because I'm almost finished anyway. But, yeah, bro, my friends in weight training class, they always reminded me of that. They always would bring that up out of nowhere. And they were trying to play like I was gay, like literally trying to play like I was gay because I broke up with a girl in middle school. But it's like, what am I gonna do, man? What especially how I told you the type of kid I was in middle school. I wasn't worried about it, man. So the fact that they always try to bring that up to really play me like that, like, nah, dog. I don't even roll that way, and I didn't like that. I always try to laugh it off, but they always did that, which always kind of bothered me, because it's like, what, God, one, I felt like they was mad they couldn't pull nothing like that, but two, it's just like they was playing with me, bro. They was playing with me. I ain't really appreciate that, but bam, story complete though. What I think though, honestly, based on what I've learned so far about your personality, I don't think it's bad to have a girlfriend, but you need to make sure that your priorities are balanced. I was talking about this earlier in stream before you joined, but there ain't nothing wrong with having a girlfriend, bro. Nothing wrong with that. As long as your grades don't plummet in pursuing a female, or if you don't do anything that is gonna put you in a situation you don't want to be in. Because my older brother, I learned how to really communicate with women on a more intimate level from my older brother, just based off of examples that I've seen from his life. I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? He cool. He got a skill. He knows how to talk to women and really make it fun, because that's really what they like. They don't really like feeling like they're like talking to you as a chore, or talking to you as like, you know, a meeting. They like to have fun whenever they're talking or doing stuff. So if you could really be like that while maintaining a sense of your own personality, you're not compromising yourself, or making yourself like, I don't even know how else to put it. You know what I'm saying? You're not compromising parts of your personality just to impress a woman. If you know how to maintain masculinity while also being charismatic, that's really the key. You know what I'm saying? You said, but bro, do you think I should try to get with that girl Mia? She Mexican and chill. If you think you should, yes. I know you're kind of young, because I was gonna say follow your gut, but you're a person. You have that gut feeling, and if you feel like that's really what you'd want to do, yeah. Like, who am I to tell you no? You know, like, I don't know Mia, and I don't really know you, so that might be someone you really want to get with. And if you feel like you should, or you want to, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Especially if you're considering her over other options. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're considering her over other girls, I would say why not? Because I don't really see anything bad about having a relationship that early. Just don't let that drown out other priorities. You know what I'm saying? Because you're young, and you have a lot of time ahead of you. Like, given that you're not gonna meet any complications in life. You know what I'm saying? Anything, you know, unexpected. You have a lot of time, and with time you could do a lot of things, and there's nothing wrong with having a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying, here and there, but you don't want to make it your focal point. You don't want to make it your main thing, because that's all you're going to be known for, and that's all you're really going to have to show. It's like, oh yeah, like, what'd you do? But whenever you was in school, I had this girl, I had that girl, that's all you can really talk about, because those actions build patterns, and those patterns, that's what builds your life. You know what I'm saying? What you do right now, you're technically living your past. You're living your past right now, and everything you do in your past, which is right now your present, will affect your future. That's how I learned that the past, present, and future is all right now. There is no such thing as each on their own. The past, present, and future exist right now. You are living in your past right now. It's crazy to think about. I know that's a lot, but it's true. What you do right now affects your future. Yo, I gotta go, bro. So bye. Have a good rest of the day. You as well, man. Remember what I said, because I meant that from the bottom of my heart. I just try to do that because I wish somebody told me the type of things when I was young. You know what I'm saying? But be easy though, Noel. For real. Be safe at practice, and be safe in life, man. You know what I'm saying? If you get Mia, you know what I'm saying? Nice to be you. You feel me? That's fire. I'm glad for you. Play it smart. What's up, nigga? Play it smart. That's it. Deuces though, deuces. I'm not gonna lie, I might wrap it up there. I think my sister wants her console back. I already said I would bring it back. Yeah. Expose myself there. Ain't in my console no more. I had a PS5. This is her PS4. I stream when she's not using it, because it's just that's the way it is. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I told a lot of stories to stream. I don't really have anything else to say If anything, no, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to get called out for fucking, I don't know, anything else. I just had to go get a damn ladder. That was, I mean, it wasn't bad. It was, what, like 5 minutes? I could have got that after stream, though. It wouldn't have been that bad to go, like, just a little bit after I ended, but I guess this is meant to be said right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, fuck. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I want to say besides bye? I mean, that's really it, though. This feels like goodbye right now. I don't really have anything else to say. I was just telling stories just for the future, so I could, you know, get this all chopped up later for myself because I need content. But I've told a lot of stories that could be made into its own video. I just gotta talk. It's just the way I be talking sometimes. I get so into it, I start talking so fast, and then I don't. And sometimes I get really fast to where my words kind of start merging together. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of annoying how I do that, but I'm trying to think. There's nothing else on my chest that has to be said. I might as well just let it be. You know what I'm saying? Get the bread. Let it red. Yeah. Oh wow. What the hell? Hold on. I'm looking at my analytics right now. It's going crazy. Jesus. Wow. Oh, even the stream. Can I change the? Hold on. Let me see if I can change that right now. Oh no. Wait. Can I? I see it. It's not showing me my. I mean, I saw my stream in the analytics, but I can't change it. So it's all right. It's all right. I gotta go on the webpage to change the actual thumbnail, but I might just leave it at this. You know what I'm saying? Leave it at this. Yeah. All right. I guess I imagine that. But y'all be easy though. I've said a lot in a little stream, but it's not a little. I've said a lot. I ain't gonna lie. But if you're watching this in the future, if you're watching this right now, I appreciate you. I love y'all for real. Whoever's watching, unless you're a pedophile, I hate you. But yeah, man, y'all be easy. Y'all treat others how you want to be treated. I was gonna say y'all do unto others what you want to do to yourself, but you know what I'm saying, some people beat their meat, so don't do that. But the fuck you looking at, boy? Hold up, bro. Dude, nigga. I ain't even mean to do it like that. You just staring too hard, dog. Come on, man. Anyway, yeah, bro. Y'all, let's be a positive influence for each other. Let's be more of an upliftment. Let's be a solution instead of a problem for one another. Because there's a lot of problems on Earth. There's a lot of problems in the world, and we need more solutions. We need more people willing to help. And I sacrifice myself as a vessel sometimes to do that for y'all on stream. But yeah, man, I think my next stream, it might be a Spider-Man stream just to get the rest of the suits unlocked, get the crime rate down in the city, just 100% the game, or I might get back on Minecraft. I did like today's vibe. I like today's vibe, boy. I like today's vibe with this one. So yeah, it depends how I'm feeling, but he might die. Yeah, I'm about to say you better get in our water, nigga. But yeah, man, y'all be easy. I love y'all for real, unless I hate you. Yeah, man, peace.